the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt Mclusky. What's going on, bro?
Salutations.
Each and every single week, we just cover a few of the top stories. You can listen to us or watch us right here over on YouTube.com/30NSG, or you could also watch us over on Twitch at 30 and Still Gaming, or you could listen to us or watch us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, anywhere else a podcast is listened. I'm always behind on that side. I will get them up to date within the next couple of days if you're listening to those. So I appreciate all the support. If you're here live in the chat watching, if we're on Twitch watching live, I appreciate you over there. And if you're watching this after the fact, I do appreciate you. Make sure if you're listening to us on iPod format, that give it a review, like give it a star rating, a comment section, something. If you're one of the people that are listening to on the iPods, and I appreciate that very much. Did I say iPods on the podcast? I meant to say iPod. Does anyone iPods don't even exist anymore, right? They're all just iPhones and smartphones. There's no iPods. No one has an iPod anymore.
I mean, wasn't Apple selling like a bazillion of those like a month?
They were selling like hotcakes, Sarge.
I
almost got fired because of it.
I mean, I still use one when I ride my bike because I don't want to carry my phone on me and drop it.
Oh,
so I just use the little stick of gum.
You still have the
stick of gum.
The stick of gum one. That's the best one.
It is the best.
It's the shuffle. It's the iPod shuffle. The best one. No screen, no nothing. Holds 8,000 songs. You can dump it in water and
that's why they don't make it anymore.
Yeah, it mine still works. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know which one doesn't work anymore? Is the
one with the screen?
Is the one with the screen? The
one with the screen with the wheel.
It's corrupt and everything. You know what I also lost yesterday?
What's that?
I lost my external hard drive from an Xbox. It corrupted. It won't boot. It won't recognize it. It's fucked.
Oh, I thought you meant you like physically lost it. I was like, how the fuck does that happen?
Well, lost means everything that's on it's lost. Now, what I can't remember is what I transferred over to the hard drive. Remember the stick I got?
Wait a minute. So you lost? That's not even a year old.
I think it's over a year.
Maybe just a year old.
Maybe two. But that's too soon to lose a hard drive.
Oh, that sucks. Well, they just had it on sale. They always go on sale.
Yeah, but now that I did that, I'm never buying that one again.
Did you I'll just buy name brand one?
I'll buy another. It was a normal drive. It wasn't a. It's not a flat. It's not a
SSD.
It's not a SSD. It's a normal
I thought you got the one you have in the back that you got me is that's just a thumb drive.
Two different things.
Oh, okay.
I had that one first. Then when I bought the other one, remember what I told you happened?
Yeah.
Right. So then that happened, and then I had two. The external one, that's just a regular hard drive, and then the SSD one, right? The regular one, I apparently corrupted and decided to die. And so it won't boot, it won't load, it doesn't recognize it. It's just garbage now. So it's a paperweight. What I can't remember though is what I had on it because it's been too long. Because I use that as like the backup drive to move things around when my hard drive gets too full of stuff. So I don't know.
Real quick, Krebsy, I heard the same thing. Well, you're saying Switch 2 is cooked and will underperform, right? I was going to make this a topic. I'm not going to make it a topic, but we'll just talk about it real fast here. I don't know what to believe, right? Because the smell test, right? I always say give it the smell test, right? In this example. Remember when consoles used to actually fly off, like when Switch 1 came out, it was impossible to get your hands on one, right? Like they were shorts. They were short. You went to the stores. You had to fight people, elbow old grandmas for it. You had to get a ticket, like a golden ticket, to line up in line, and only the first 10 people would get it. Like it was super hard to get. 3 years in, it was still hard to get because I know I bought it 2.5 years into the cycle of the Switch and still couldn't get my hands on it, right? So I saw a picture that my wife sent me, and she said that Nintendo Switches are in Target right now. No one's lining up. Boxes just stacked there, okay? Costco has them. No one's buying them, right? But if you go to the website, if you type in right now Nintendo Switch sales, they're sold out. Target says it's sold out. Everyone says it's sold out. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to believe because my eyes see one thing and yet the articles say other. Now, obviously, the articles are going to tell you that they're short because people want to go get them. So when they come back in stock. When some game or some system is selling and you walk into a store and go, hey, do you have this? Like, maybe you can check back in on Wednesday for the shipping. That's when the truck pulls up. Remember those days? That's when you knew something was like you had to get it because they only had like 5 in and they were sold right away. I could walk into a store right now and get one. So I don't know. I do think they're selling well. I think they're going to sell like 2 to 4 million copies, or consoles, real fast because everyone that wants one gets one. And then I think it's just going to stay there until more games come out. But I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. Yeah, we're actually going to talk about that a little bit later, Dupless. All right, let's get to what we've been playing, Sarge. It's another week. Let me get this going. All right, Sarge, another week. What have you been playing? I know we played Helldivers yesterday. I know you're playing some other things too as well. So tell us about it.
Yeah, my cycle isn't that extraordinary. I kind of fall into the same kind of brackets. I do enjoy Helldivers too. It's got a quick game loop. It's fun. It's hilarious with people. And I'm starting to understand why people unlock the big bomb early on because it gets through the map faster because you can destroy the objectives and just move on.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Every single time you light that thing and go. Michael Bay must be jealous of this game because the explosions of this game are phenomenal. They're phenomenal.
I think what they're missing, and the game's been out long enough, is I think somebody dropped the ball. I think that there should be some modder out there that should be putting in either voiceovers or sound effects from old action movies that had all the explosions, like crazy explosions. And I think they need to put that in there. Like the guys in the game do say the things that you would hear in the action movies back in the day. But I think a modder would have needs to put in the actual voices of the guys from back in the day, like Arnold and Rambo and Chuck Norris, like with all the explosions. Like I think that's missing. I think that's the end game for Helldivers is someone mod that shit.
That right there would actually be a fantastic game. Take Helldivers out and just get Terminator, Predator, Rambo, all of them in a game like that pixel game we played.
Never mind the pixel game. What the game where you're like a futuristic guy running over the chivalry horses guys, like when you have a machine gun. Like that's what it would be like.
Oh yeah. But what I'm saying is it's like Kingsmaker. It's Kingsmaker, but with the Rambo characters.
Kingsmaker with Helldivers using 80s heroes.
That would be awesome. That
Straight
would be
up
awesome.
Nut.
Yeah.
Right, Alternative, like better than Broforce. A better version of
Broforce. That's what it's called. Yeah, Broforce.
Well, you played Broforce.
Yeah, it was super hilarious. But at the same time, I can't play it too long because it's a side-scroller pixel thing, and I'm just like, I'm done, right? But you take that style, like the animations, the trailer for
Let me be Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
let me be Chuck Norris without a helmet. Let me be Chuck Norris.
That would be so badass if you got every single like 80s, 90s action star in a Helldivers type of game, and they just do their one-liners the whole time.
Yeah,
one-liners all the time. Oh, he's just like, he's just,
Yeah.
oh man, that would be so good. Yeah, yesterday when we played, I haven't played Helldivers in, I don't know, 9 months, 10 months. I was so lost. I was like, how do you throw a grenade? I was like, I don't even know how to change weapons. I was like, how do you put this down? But when we started playing and going around, man, it's a blast with like friends. It's so good.
But see,
Last
a
night,
game like that makes me, it derails me and makes me want to play a few other games that are 4-player multiplayer. Like I wouldn't mind playing Dark Tide again. You know what I mean? Like those type of games make me want to play something similar to it. Like that's what that kind of game does. But I think I know the population goes up and down and all around, but I think it's a hilarious game. I think it's so over the top about like American bullshit. It's just so over the top. It's hilarious. It's like Starship Troopers, but with like 6 exclamation points.
Yeah,
after it.
Yeah, Jason, I think we will raise the difficulty next time.
Medium's good. Medium's good until I figure it out. I'm only level like
good,
10.
You get more XP and stuff when you're doing hard. And as you have 4 people, if you have a full group, hard is actually pretty good. It feels good. Medium gets a little too easy when you have, especially when Jason's in your group and he's got the mech and he's just running around, just blowing everything up. Right? Yeah. So, what else have you been playing? Besides Helldivers?
Well, the loop has been the same. Like I play Spice Wars, and because you guys have been playing Dune, it made me want to play Spice Wars again. So I got into a Spice Wars match and got my ass handed to me because I was trying a different strategy, and that's always a mistake when you play against people that know how to play. But I keep moving the cursor over Space Marine 2. I keep moving my cursor over it, and I go, not yet.
Not yet. It's on sale right now. It's on sale right now for $35.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
My problem is it's going to go on sale again.
But
I don't want to buy it now and let it sit there. I would rather wait for the sale, buy it, and then play it again.
Yeah,
it's been on sale 3 times already this year.
It's always going to be on sale.
Yeah,
Steam has sales 2 or 3 times a year. It's not a big deal. What I'm saying is, I don't want to go through the game by myself. It's like I want to play with you through the campaign.
No, I'm there with you. When we get it, we'll get it. Yeah.
Once again, are we getting it for PC or are we getting it for console?
Isn't it crossplay? It doesn't matter.
Even if it is.
I think you want to get it on PC because you want the mods.
Because of the mods. Yeah.
Yeah. My problem is I don't know. I mean, I'm playing Dune. It's running fine except for the crashes for the server, but it's running visually fine on my on stream. My thing is for my computer, I'm not sure it would be very enjoyable for people to watch if it's.
And this is why I'm saying not now.
Right. So I mean, I would like to get it for PC. I would like to get it for PC.
Yeah.
One, I would love to do the mods with the 10-man, 12-man crews, and in that game, that would be awesome. Because that's basically my dream game.
The whole point.
I like what Starship Troopers is doing with the 16 players.
Hello.
But now it's in Space Marines. I mean,
hello.
Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
Hello. I listen. Warhammer 40K in the right hands could be the video game of Endgame for Marvel. Like it could be that good.
Oh yeah.
But the problem is, as soon as any corpo smells any kind of money coming from an IP that he thinks or they think that we like, they shit on it immediately. They try to get as many people in it and on as possible, and they try to jam in as much MTX as possible and fuck with the game, like every time, right? Space Marine has got to stay popular, but under the table, and then come out with a sequel that blows everything else away, and then it's too late. We already know about it, and Corpo's not involved.
Right.
Like
right.
we have to. It has to be a sleeper title that does well. It can't be a game that they go, "Hey guys, guess what? We made ourselves a Space Marine game." And you're like, "Oh fuck! Why do you guys have to touch everything? Just leave it alone." Like that's what we have to hope for.
Dart Taco, thank you very much for the membership. Appreciate that. Robert Jones says Starship Troopers is like Helldivers but sadder.
It is sadder.
Starship Troopers is actually it's good, but it's not on the level of like
but
Helldivers.
You see,
all they had to do was make Starship Troopers like Helldivers gold.
But you see the effort involved.
Here's what
you see
that example.
Like, the game. Okay, let's put it this way: the game loop isn't that long, right, bro?
No.
On the ship, buy some shit, shoot me out on the planet, 10
Right.
minutes,
Shoot the
back
same
on the
things.
ship.
Right.
I'm not seeing the universe.
Upgrade.
I'm not seeing all those characters. All right. So if all I have is this and everyone loves it, why is it you guys can't spend any time on making just this amazing? I don't understand.
Right. Here, perfect example. Starship Troopers was Helldivers before Helldivers. Right? Lego was Minecraft before Minecraft. Minecraft comes out and does Legos better than Minecraft, right? Legos.
Because they
Minecraft does
tried.
Legos, right?
Because
And
they
now
tried.
Helldivers does Starship Troopers better than Starship Troopers. It's like, hello? How do you not do this correctly?
Do you not understand the virtual semi guys would have if I could play a Space Marine game, but it's Battlefield? Do you understand what kind of insanity that would be with today's engines and today's graphics? Seeing a Land Raider driving across the thing, Land Raider shooting, and have a bunch of Marines. And Marines we're not these little skinny guys, bro. We're not little skinny guys.
Fat guy.
We're huge guys running around, right?
Dude, how have they not made that yet?
I'm telling you why. Because the because the corpos have it in a death grip. They're like hanging on to it like a bad prostitute that you didn't pay her yet. She's just scrapping on. She's just like this, right? You have to have a studio that knows the IP and knows what to do with it. You can't let Corpo Town come in and say, "Oh, you're like Space Marine." All studios on Space Marine. Like, no, bro, no.
Kart Racer, Space Marine 2 Kart Racer. And you're like,
yeah, that's what it would be. It would be a giant Space Marine in a go-kart driving around. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's exactly what it would be. What else? What else have you been playing? Anything else?
It's Dune Spice Wars. Okay, I do 3. I've been doing 2 or 3 Oblivion gates. Is what I'm on now. Like, I get on. I buy a bunch of shit. I upgrade my combat. I do 3 gates, and then I log off. Like I'm doing like a cleansing. Like I get on and kill all the evil, and then I leave. That's like the rhythm. And now I'm playing Oblivion. I think it's amazing too, though. Like playing Oblivion makes me want to play Skyrim again. That's how good Oblivion is.
Yeah. I haven't got back to Oblivion. I've been playing Marvel Rivals more. They have a new season, or half a season started. The next 0.5 season started, and Ultron's in the game. I played them once. Seems pretty cool, but I'm just trying to do my dailies and whatnot. Still enjoying that game. Playing Roadcrafter. I'm hour 80 into Roadcrafter. The 5th map right now is getting pretty hard. It's getting pretty tough.
It's getting kind of hectic.
Yeah, it's getting that game is night and day. Yeah, that game is night and day. You're by yourself. It's Souls. It's a Souls-like. It's like, all right, I need you to go grab this machine. It's all upper left-hand corner, right? You're at the bottom right-hand corner, and you have a car that has like shitty tires, and you have to go through all deep mud in a river. And you're like, good luck to you. And you're like, what? But if you have 4 people to do it with you, it's much easier. When you're by yourself, it's brutal.
Of course. By yourself, it's Elden Ring.
A lot. Yeah.
By yourself, it's Elden Ring.
No,
with
Dark
4 player,
Souls.
it's Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
The difficulty goes down exponentially.
So Roadcraft is a really fun game. I really like it. I'm unlocking new vehicles and new things. It, like you said, Sarge, it's like kids playing in a sandbox. You know what I mean? Like it's just playing with the construction vehicles and whatnot. It's a really good game. It's a really good game. And it's stable, much more stable than what SnowRunners was. Even though every once in a while the cars they start flying around the map and they go start flipping and stuff like that. But
I mean, not too bad. I mean, it happened to us a couple times, but
so I'm playing that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go.
I'm playing that, and then today I played Dune Awakening. I'm liking it. Right now it's a little slow. I'm about 6 hours in. Okay, 6 hours in.
Skywars Galaxies, right?
Yeah, it feels a lot. It feels really like I was just playing before we started, right? And I'm doing like this lap around the map right now where my base, I didn't know how big the map was. It's like really, really big. Okay. So I thought it was in the middle of the area that I was. It's not, right? My base, and I had to go around, and I'm killing some I'm doing some bounties right now. So I had to run across, and running across from like landmass to landmass in between, like the rock structures between, your heart gets a little exciting because that sand, all of a sudden the music starts to, right, and the sound levels start to move, and you're like, oh damn, I'm gonna get caught. I'm gonna get caught. I almost got it. I almost did. I almost got caught one time, but I had my ability where you kind of like jump in the air and you do this like jump 10 feet, do this like maneuver. I've been using that to traverse a little bit better. So I got away from him, thank God. But I'm working my way around, and now I'm on the far east side of the map, and I'm trying to get back to my base because I'm full. There's no fast travel. I have no vehicle, so I'm making my way slowly back to the thing. So far, so good. The gunplay feels good. The combat, the melee combat in the very beginning, not very good, right, in the beginning. But then you start unlocking more abilities, and you start doing like these cool, animated things as you're hitting people. Really cool. I like the exploration in the game. You find these scavenger bases. I don't know if they're like instances or what you would call them, but you go inside these ships or dungeon type of stuff, and there's like, it does the horseshoe where you go in and you go all the way around, then it comes back, and then you get out the door type of thing. You find different weapon parts, different schematics, different blueprints. There's trading. All of a sudden, you're already working with people. Like, I thought it was an NPC. Like, I was shooting a guy, and I was like, what's happening here? It was an actual player, but you don't see their names. And then all of a sudden, you start talking. You start having this, like, community. And then you're doing the dungeon together, right? It's an instance together. So it's really cool. I'm having a lot of fun with it so far for the 6 hours that I've played. I'm looking more towards it. But, man, it's not a banana when you start peeling it. It's an onion. As you start peeling it, there's more layers and layers and layers to this game. So right now, I don't even have a vehicle yet. I don't have my bike. I don't have a copter. I don't have any of that, right? So
it's the only thing that's missing is you didn't walk into a bar and talk to a girl dancing for 10 minutes. That's the only thing that's missing. Otherwise, it's Star Wars Galaxies. It's exactly how you started when you played Galaxies.
I could see them actually adding stuff like that for like buffs and whatnot. That would be surprising. But yeah, I got the blood packs. I just got my 3D printer, basically, to start making stuff. I got upgraded gear now. I have like tier 2 or tier 3 gear on me.
It's still garbage. But anyway.
Oh yeah, it's garbage. Yeah,
it's still garbage.
But I like it. There's these sensors that you have to put up, and
do you have to attack to get your attack skill up?
Yeah, everything you do gets that thing up. So if you're using your sword, right, your sword skill goes up. If you're using your gun,
you need to find a spot where you just grind to get your skill up.
That's the whole area, though.
Yeah, but you need to get into battles consistently.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Old school,
there's
like
people
old school leveling. Like you run in, kill 20 guys, go.
You want to just shoot in a cave like Destiny? You just want.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that way, but it has to be time efficient to where you're killing enough guys so your skills going up. The other question, I don't think you answered is the crafting system your level based or just as long as you find the materials? No,
if you have the materials and you have the blueprint, you have to make a blueprint.
Okay, but the blueprint, find the blueprint level,
make the schematic. I can't answer that because I don't know. I'm just I'm finding
my guess is you can find the materials, but the blueprint's based on your level. I'm pretty sure that's the way it's
I don't think it is because I found a blueprint that I don't have the materials yet. I have 2 of the 4. I haven't even found 2 of the I don't even know where the 2 other resources are. I'm assuming based on where you are, the higher you go up in the map, the more resources you'll find, the higher tier resources you'll find. So you could find, and I think this is why they do it, Sarge. So this is why I don't think it's based on your level. I think it's based on the I guess your level. It would be it, sort of.
Because
but if I find a piece of gear, but it says I need ore and then copper or whatever it is, and copper's not in my area, I have to go northern to get more copper,
or go to the store and buy it.
So think of the map as like a layer like this.
I get it, but go to the store and
buy
it.
The piece that you find like halfway between. That way you're down here, you find the gear, and then you have to go up here to complete the gear. So you're progressing
I get that, but once the first grouping of people does that, they put the materials inside the store to sell, and then a level 1 guy just goes and buys the materials. And
you would have to have the money. Yeah, you would have to have the money.
Hang on. I'm level 3.
Yeah.
but I'm shooting a level 12 gun around or a level 12 sword around because I was able to purchase the stuff from the market. That's why I say I think it's got to be level based, because otherwise you got these crazy people who are low hit points but have these huge weapons. Right? That's what happened. That's what happened in Star Wars. They had to put some kind of level cap system in there for gear. Otherwise, that's what would end up happening. You have low level guys with high end weapons. I remember when I started over with the combat medic, right? I started the game combat medic. You gave me 25 grand. Yep. I ran to the guy's store, the player guy's store in the middle of the desert on Tatooine, where he sold guns that did 300 or 400 damage. Bought the gun, came back, and went from level 3 to level 20 in like an hour and a half because we're just slaughtering everything.
Right, you're just killing the same thing over and over and over. Yeah. So far, in the starting area, they repeat, like the respawns are pretty fast, but you're not killing like 10 guys at one time. There's like 2 guys in the camp, right, and some gear, right? So it makes you move where you can't just sit there and go bang bang and then wait 5 minutes and then bang bang, right? You have to go and keep moving. It's designed that way.
Okay, but I did like the spawn mechanic in Galaxies where there was a nest.
Yes.
And the guys came out of the nest. It's almost the same as Helldivers. There's a nest. Guys keep coming out of it, right? You can shoot the nest, cause it problem, and it releases a little bit more guys, or you can just nuke the nest right away.
Nuke the nest.
Now, you can farm the nest for a little while by baiting it. So the same thing, I think that's like the better way to do it. But like let's just say for Dune purposes, like you're in an enemy camp, and a couple guys keep coming out of the tent. And until you burn the tent to the ground, they keep coming out of the tent. So you can farm it a little bit, not sit there and just farm it forever. But it makes it a little bit more realistic thing. Like there's guys inside tents and things are coming out. It's not just, hey, here's base A. It's got 4 guys. I killed all 4 guys. Walk away for 5 minutes. Come back. 4 more guys. Like if that's the way it is, like it makes my brain twisted. I like a little bit more variation into how enemies spawn or what's going on in the area. Remember the camps? The enemy camps that would spawn, they'd be random. You kill the camp goes away, the camp will spawn someplace else.
I do like already the community. Real quick, Eclipse, thank you very much. He says closer and closer to being a gooner. It's Goonie, not Gooner. For 2 years. Thank you very much for the 20 months.
Should get time out for
that. 20 months of membership. Appreciate you. And then real quick, Salty says the progression comes with the following the story progression. So as you follow the story, it leads you to places to get to.
So what I'm saying, so what you're saying is, if I follow the story progression, I'll level up quicker than if I was just to run around and kill guys.
Yeah, just play the game, play the story. I like right now you're starting to see, because everyone's just started the game today, but everyone's started to make houses, right? And some people are just throwing houses in the middle of the sand. It tells you not to do that. I did that just to build a house real fast, and then I moved mine up on top of the mountain. But you're starting to see people build like little
villages,
neighborhoods, little villages and neighborhoods next to each other, and like working together. Like one guy I saw already, he found this structure and he built 2 separate bases on either side of the thing, but he built it within the archway of the mountain. So he had like this blocked off, and he has a door that's like locked, so you can't go through. And then inside of the whole cavern's his base. And then he has a door on the other side where he has it, where the inside is not his, but the outer edges are his, and he owns that whole thing.
That's why I like people in games like that, because you get to see shit like that.
Yeah. So, and then there's other people. They're already building like these monstrosities, like they're like higher level building skills, and they have like these beams and structures. I'm like, where the fuck did they get this stuff already?
Because someone likes just to be a builder.
Yeah, they're grinding.
Yeah.
And they said you could do that. You could just be a person that does schematics for buildings and then sell the blueprints and stuff like that to people. So I think that's pretty cool as well.
But that's why a player-run market is important. Let the people make their own weapons. Let them build and figure shit out.
Jones, it's not a rat hole though. He did it where the outside looks like I thought it was an NPC's base, right? I thought it was like a kingdom, like built into the mountain. Like he just built the outer tier of it. Has all his stuff there, and then the other side he has another one, but the because you only have a block, it gets bigger and bigger as you get more levels. But so let's say 20 yards at the door is his. Then 50 yards in the middle is just the board, and then 20 yards on the other end is his. So he's got two sides. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
It also depends on the level of detail they want for as far as the economy goes. Because remember that if I build a weapon, the weapon should have a durability to it.
They do,
right?
Yep.
And
They have
so
durability.
right, and so I should be able to
Your gear, your
be
weapons.
better as time progresses. I should be able to make the same weapon better, so I don't have to repair it as much. But for a player-run economy to run properly, you need to have things in the game disintegrate over time, not from just sitting in your inventory. Like the sword's got 20 durability, and just sitting in your inventory, it just grades to 0. None of that shit. But I'm talking about like over time, it becomes more expensive to fix it than it is to make a new one. So there's a drop off. So goods move throughout the game.
So
that's what you need.
So far, there's different weapons. I just got my rifle. Everyone's running around with a rifle. I was like, I haven't found a rifle. I went to a board and I find in a chest. I found a rifle. It's almost broke, but I got one, and that does a lot more damage than my pistol did. And then you're unlocking different abilities and powers. I like it a lot. I'm already 6 hours in
because it's Galaxies.
I'm gonna put hundreds and hundreds of hours into this thing
because it's Galaxies. You know it's Galaxies.
I
Otherwise,
know,
you wouldn't be playing it.
Well, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Dune, right? But I like Dune.
Your brain doesn't. Your brain doesn't see Dune. Your brain sees Star Wars. I know how this works, bro. Otherwise, you wouldn't be playing it.
I'm fantasizing. I'm like, man, this game would be so much better if it was Galaxies. But
but you can play Galaxies.
I know you
just don't care anymore.
I can't do the graphics.
I know.
Yeah, the graphics are.
I know. Why do you think I can only play the Classics collection for 10 seconds or 15 seconds?
It's nice to go back and play it.
Well, because you've seen it. Like that's what the resident old guy gets to do. I've seen everything. So when I see it again, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool for 12 seconds. And then I'm like, that's it. But you have to remember, a kid that was 7 and now is 17, what has he seen different?
Nothing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The last 17 years, the graphics haven't changed that much. Where someone goes, I can't play that. It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Let's say you just started gaming in 2017, 2015. Battlefront 1 comes out.
That's correct.
Right? Grand Theft Auto 5 is out.
That's
right.
Right.
Red Dead Redemption is 2018. Right. Yep. You see those graphics, and then you see the graphics now, and you're like,
now you see that. What's the difference?
Yeah,
there isn't any.
I think they're worse.
Some of them are
back then. Yeah, some of them are worse.
Some of them are worse. John, come on, let's be honest, man. Be honest with yourself, chat. Look at the graphics from Battlefront 2, the re-release, not the original one, the newer version. Look at the graphics on that. Look at the graphics for Red Dead, and then look at the graphics for the games that are supposedly on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. What are we talking about?
Well,
my chair.
You're shrinking.
Yeah, the gasket's blown.
All right,
my fat ass has done it, chat.
While you fix your chair, we'll go to top stories, and we'll talk about The Witcher 4 real fast, right? So let's go to top stories. All right. So the first story is Witcher 4's gameplay reveal wasn't actual gameplay from Witcher 4. Did you see?
No shit.
Yeah, it says it. First of all, I gotta say, hold on. I gotta say, there's a lot of people that make YouTube videos, and the first thing they do is say they lied to us. They told us it was gameplay, and I'm like, hold up. The guy on stage,
I'm playing, bro.
Yeah, the guy on stage literally said tech demo. He says, yeah, we're going to show you our tech demo. No one was hiding anything. Okay, on the actual screen, it did say not an actual gameplay. Yeah. So when people say that they lied, it's like, no, you chose not to listen because you were blinded by the beautiful graphics they were showing you for what it was. Now, The Witcher 4, the tech wise, I thought it would look awesome, but I knew it was a tech demo. I was like, man, this would be amazing. Could you imagine like the next
Can you
Skyrim?
Imagine if somebody actually made a game and optimized it properly and then released it? Oh wait, you can't. So then it's not. That's exactly the thought process that works.
John,
It's
but that's not a lie though, right? The tech demo, and they said it was being played on a stock PlayStation 5, which it was, but it's a small section. It's a encapsulation moment of an area they built on the play, and it's playing on the PlayStation 5. That's not a lie. It's just a tech demo on the PlayStation 5 to see what they could make in the future.
As a matter of fact, when they say it's running on a PlayStation 5, they don't mean like the actual PlayStation 5 sitting there. They mean the guts of the PlayStation 5 that they have behind the stage.
What the PlayStation 5 would be comparable to.
Right, what the PlayStation 5, that's what they're saying. Like, because if it would be a PlayStation 5 running on the PlayStation 5, then the guy would actually just be playing the fucking demo on the thing.
Yeah.
They'd just be playing it.
It's like this, right? When a movie says it's the #1 movie at the box office this weekend, sure, it is, but nothing else came out. So they had no competition. It is the #1, but it didn't make any money, right? They said it was a tech demo off the top of right off the bat, so it wasn't hiding. They said it was a PlayStation 5. Great. It's a small section. And if anyone thought it was real when they did the flyover, and then they showed the circus act that was happening on the stage, and all of a sudden people just started appearing, obviously, that's not gameplay. That's pre-recorded. Let's fast forward to, okay, we had 5 people in the stands. Now we have 300 people on screen. You know what I mean?
I don't fall for this shit no more. I don't. As soon as some cunt corpo has a fucking controller in his hand, he starts talking about a video game, I stop watching. Right. I just stop watching. I'll tell you what, I'll wait till you guys release a part or early access and someone actually plays the goddamn game. Otherwise, I don't care anymore. I'm happy that they're making a Witcher 4. I hope it blows.
I hope
Witcher
it looks
3,
good. I hope it looks that good.
Blows Witcher 3 out of the water. However, I know you. I know how you guys talk, and I know what you guys lie about. So I don't care. Zero effect. That'd be like having Dolly Parton's tits from 40 years ago in my face right now. I'd be like, seen them. Don't care. Don't care.
Altern, they have to say tech demo and showing you, hey, yeah, look, this is running on a PlayStation 5. But look, it doesn't really matter. People do this. They do this.
Yep.
Right? They only watch and they go, that looks awesome. That looks great. And then other people go, that's not running on the thing. That's just what it is. That's why they have to say what they say. That's why they put it. Look, it was a little scumbag.
How faded
was
it?
So tiny.
How faded
and
was it?
Faded at the bottom of the screen. It was ridiculous. You could not see it.
Tell me you're trying not to tell me you're not trying to lie to me.
Just put it on the screen. Put it on the screen. Tech demo.
Right.
Just put not actual gameplay. No, they're like opacity to a 3.
Yeah. Lower. I can still see the words. Lower it.
No, make it white, and then let's play it in snow. You can't see anything, right? So yeah, it's stupid what they do, but corpos are going to be corpos. But let's talk about Witcher 4 for a second, right? Do we think that The Witcher 4 is going to come out and it's going to look that good? Because in the past, they showed Witcher 3, and Witcher 3 didn't look the way it came when it came out, right? They showed Cyberpunk 2077, and it didn't look as good as what they showed back in the day when they first showed that thing when it came out, right? So obviously, Witcher 4 is going to be way downgraded from what it is, because there's no way in hell that this is running flawlessly. I mean, on these consoles right now, looking like that.
Especially somebody who was gaming back 10 years ago and knows the graphics and knows the systems now, and now it's 10 years later, and you still think you believe that shit?
Right.
Bro, stop eating plastic. I don't know how to fix this problem, right? Anytime a corpo holds a controller in his hand and he's starting to talk to you about a game he's making, don't bother. Just wishful thinking. That's all. That's all you got. It's wishful thinking.
Dupla says, does any game come out exactly advertised?
No.
Would this be different?
No.
I want to say yes, but the scale is very small. Look at Star Wars Battlefront 2. Graphic-wise, it looks exactly the same as it did when they showed it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a different, but also it had microtransactions and all those other problems that they had. But visually, there's no downgrade from what Star Wars Battlefront 2 looked like when they showed it to what it is today.
Who gave GTA a pass? The only people that gave GTA a pass are the people that bought GTA 3 times over the span of 3 consoles, Raichi.
Xbox One,
that's who gave it a pass.
3.
I didn't give it a pass. Well, you played the game, it's done. I didn't buy it 3 times. Those people are the ones who gave it the pass.
Watch Dogs, Anthem, Division 1, fake. I mean, even Spider-Man was downgraded. They do
Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs
was bad.
You guys
Division was
you guys
bad.
Remember when Watch Dogs came out?
Yeah,
My
Division was
God.
downgraded big time when it came out. I don't know. First of all, they didn't show this at a PlayStation event. This was at an Unreal Engine Fest that was happening in Orlando, and they were showing the tech. That's what it was about. It was about the tech, and they just happened to say, "Hey, we're doing this, and we're showing you what we could do, what possibly we could do on the consoles."
What the engine could do,
right?
Or what the engine can do, but we can't figure out how to make that work on a system that we sell to you without charging you a kidney. That's basically what he should say. Like, we could do this in our office because we got it hooked up to like NORAD. We got everything hooked up to like the best computers possible. We can't figure out how to make this work in your house. My bad.
Anthem was bad. Yeah, Anthem was bad. There are games that are really bad that they sell you on, like the graphic wise, and then when it comes out, I think Mass Effect Andromeda did the same thing, right? There was a lot of them. A lot of them do it that way. Look, I think the tech that Unreal Engine's doing is phenomenal, right? I think with the where they've come from, and as you're talking about, where have graphics changed in the last 10 years, right? It's not what they look like, but how they implement it into the actual thing. Like when they were talking about the forest and the trees, and
they're talking about the nanotechnology. They're talking about
when you're talking about the nanotechnology and they're up on it,
the ability to render millions and billions of things and condense it down so it doesn't take up all the resources. That's what they're trying to work with now.
Right. It's like a bubble. So if like the camera's like in this bubble and it gets real close up to the thing, it brings it nice and clear. But when you back out from it, it takes it and you'll never notice it's like 1 megapixel or whatever, and it makes it look beautiful from a faraway distance, right? So I think what they're doing for Unreal Engine is good, but at the same time, I think it's also could be bad. And here's the next topic, Sarge, right? Because from Unreal Engine that makes things that look amazing, then there's things that look like this. Where is Mind's Eye? Okay, Mind's Eye. Okay, this gets good, Sarge. 2 weeks
Hang
ago.
on.
2 weeks ago. Are you playing Mind's Eye right now? 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
We talked about how this looked like something was up with the game, right? Then I said, wait a minute. Everywhere. Oh, his seat's going down again. Everywhere was the game that they were selling. We talked about this last week, right? And now Mind's Eye is the game that they're selling. Okay. Well, Mind's Eye Studio executives depart build Rocket Boy 1 week before the game's debut. Now, this is not the CEO or anything like this, but it is the chief legal officer and the chief financial officer have left. This seems a little strange to me, Sarge. I don't know about you, right? But when your legal team leaves right before the game comes out on June 10th, which is like 6 days from now, and the chief financial officer leaves, I think they know something's up. And there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. So much so, this story just came in today. And it's not really a story, but these are rumors that are happening. It's over from, I believe, Japan. Okay. It says, reports have been emerging all day, okay, that Mind's Eye is no longer available on the Japanese PlayStation Store to pre-order.
Weird.
And existing orders are being refunded. He says, I've checked myself. It's indeed no longer available to pre-order on the Japan. No reason is given, and it's received its full email with header and refund from somebody on X, which shows a refund with no stated reason. Now, people are speculating on X that it's due to the product not receiving a certification of release. Okay? The closer and closer we get to this game coming out, more shit starts to come out of this thing. And it's like, what is happening, right? First, it doesn't look, something's off about Mind's Eye. Then we connected to Everywhere, and Everywhere was the game, and this was a small piece with inside the game, that game, right? Then two chief officers leave 2 days ago, 1 week before the game comes out, and now we have this where now it's not on the Japanese PlayStation Store again, right? Or anymore. It's like
I mean, I don't know. Let me ask you a question.
It's like I have a sixth sense for this stuff.
How many yellow cards do you get before you get a red card? For all you soccer fans out there, how many yellow cards do you get, right? I don't need 3 strikes, guys. I don't need 3 strikes. 1 yellow card means look out. Red card means get the fuck out. That's it. Exactly, Salty. I'm done listening to these guys. I don't care. They could have put the Mind's Eye game with a naked chick playing it, telling me how awesome it was, I'd be like dead staring through her. Like, no. The answer is fucking no. Done.
So we'll see what happens, right? 6 days away from this game coming out. Will it launch? Will it come out? Or do we think something is going to happen, right?
Absolutely, Krebsy.
Well, yeah,
they basically had to make a 180-degree turn somewhere during the development.
They admitted it. It was supposed to be NFT. We watched the video that said that it was supposed to be an NFT game. 100% in 2022 is supposed to be an NFT game.
I already said my piece on this. I don't believe it's a full-fledged game. I believe it was a developer-made experiment for other people to work inside the game. It was an experiment. I'm telling you, it's what it is. I'll wait till the game comes out, crashes, burns, and I want to hear the behind the scenes stuff. I'm waiting to hear that part of it.
I think I think Everywhere was nothing. All right. Everywhere was nothing. And they said, we have nothing here after all these years. What are we going to do? Well, we can do something with this game that we made within the game called Mind's Eye. Let's see if we can put it together. Let's see if we can bank off.
They're trying to salvage.
Look like Grand Theft Auto. They were 100% banking off Grand Theft Auto. 100% banking off Grand Theft Auto. Now, I don't know if they would have gotten away with it if Grand Theft Auto was actually launching this year, because they could have moved it closer and see if they would get people. Sort of like when Saints Row originally came out. People bought it because they were hyped on Grand Theft Auto, and then they bought Saints Row. And then Saints Row actually became a really good game, 1 and 2 and 3, and then it went off the cliff, and then rebooted it, and it's still, yeah. But this game, I'm very interested in seeing what happens with Mind's Eye when it comes out. And the funny part was, not many people were talking about this until about 4 days ago, and then all of a sudden now you're seeing the rounds go around the press junkets, and also YouTubers are starting to notice that something's up with this game. So, what do you think, chat? Do you think this game makes it to the 10th? Do you think this game comes out and actually sells, or do you think within 30 days of this game coming out, the studio's done and closed?
No, I think if they try to sell this game at all, it's going to be around. What was that game that came out, and then they had to stop selling it? With the PlayStation stopped selling it on the store. Which game was that? That
was Cyberpunk?
Was it Cyberpunk, or was there one before? Was there one before?
No, Cyberpunk was pulled from the store for refunds, and then they put it back. And then also, I think day before they pulled from the day before. Sony pulled day before. Yeah, because Cyberpunk is an actual game, though. This one's Cyberpunk was, but it was just broke, and they were like, Sony was like, we're not selling.
We're not selling a broken product.
Right, we're not selling a broken product. So they, I could have sworn it was also the day before, didn't they? They pulled it. Yeah, day before they pulled as well. I know Sony did. One thing Sony does correctly, when fucking games are broke, they're like, we're not selling that shit. Right, we're not selling that. So,
yeah, but it shouldn't be Big Papa has to come over and tell you to stop selling poison to the kids in the neighborhood. It should be release the game, done. All right, this nonsense where you keep getting to release a broken game and we're going to fix it later routine should be nipped in the bud immediately. Like, you don't get to collect revenue. Like, if you want to sell
don't collect $200.
If you want to make revenue, the fucking thing's got to work. Period. Like, we're not playing this fucking game, right? There has to be some kind of doorstop here that. You have to stop them from doing it. It can't just be, well, listen, we tried, we ran out of money. You can't just let us sit there and die. You got to give us some water, right? Like they make it, they put themselves in a position where they can't do anything unless you sell the garbage, and then you have to sell the garbage.
You are correct, Altern. I believe it was Steam that did that for the day before, right? They did something where they're doing refunds and taking it down. I don't think it was a PlayStation, but Cyberpunk was PlayStation. And what Krebsy's saying is the ripoff of Grand Theft Auto is also the most recent thing that they've done. So, look, I can't look. I don't like studios and stuff closing, but this is going to be so beautiful to see Mind's Eye just implode.
You think I feel bad for any of them? Like, you think that there weren't conscious decisions made leading up to the event that's about to happen, and you want me to be like, oh, poor Dev?
Yeah, the chief financial officer leaving. They're like, yeah, the legal department's leaving as well, because I don't want to deal with the shitstorm that's coming in.
Yeah, anybody that feels bad for any corporation because employees are being fired has never had a mortgage or had any responsibilities in the real world. Like, you think it's still sunshine and rainbows. Like, you don't understand how the day-to-day world functions. And so you have apathy for something that you don't understand about. But as soon as you get into the world where you're being treated the same way as everybody else, you wouldn't give two shits about someone who's trying to fuck you out of your money. I don't understand why you even bother.
Right? Well, since we're on the subject of games closing down, let's get this one. This article's old, but I just wanted to make a reminder to people that DC's Marvel Multiverses game is done. It's completely done. So we get to use this this week. Hold on, let me find it. Multiverses is now gone.
What do you mean?
Don't worry.
What do you mean it's
Vagoda
gone?
will be back from Mind's Eye.
I thought they just stopped supporting it, but you can still play it.
No, you can still play it, but it's done. They're done supporting it. The game's closed. The only way you can still play it is if you logged in before they closed the last month. You had to log in.
Well, I think you used Vagoda too early, though. We only use Vagoda like it's fucking gone.
No, this is gone. This is dead. It's
dead.
You
said you can still play it, though.
No, but it's dead. It's not making any money. It's zero microtransactions. You don't even have to buy it. It's done. They're making $0 from it. They're doing a courtesy of, well, we're closed down, so here, just have the game.
Just have it. Just have
just have it.
Okay.
What other game closed yesterday, 30? What game closed yesterday? Eric Jones says, Mind's Eye, June 10th. Can't wait, boys. I think you might be the only person buying it.
Eric's going to fund the entire development team.
Oh, that's right. Well, we have a story about X Defiant. We do have an X story, and this is perfect. Let me find this one. Ubisoft right here. Right? Ubisoft, Mark Rubin leaves the industry as X Defiant is also shut down forever. Vagoda's busy, man. He's busy. He is off for a long time, and all of a sudden now
I think
summer
the best
season's
news
coming.
here, it's not that the game is gone forever. It's that Mark Rubin leaves industry.
Let's read this.
Big round of applause, bro.
Yeah, he says yesterday
Ubisoft
failed first-person shooter X Defiant was taken offline after being on the market for less than a year. It had stellar launch, but fizzled out faster than anyone could have predicted. As a player base dwindled, so did the game's prospects, and also in the end, Ubisoft decided to shut down the game and dismissed. Remember, the dude that came out said, "We're not closing down. We have a next season," right? And then all of a sudden, like 3 days later, like, yeah, Mark, we forgot to tell you, we're closing down. He's like, mother, and he's like, God damn it, right? So in a recent post, social media, Mark Rubin, the prolific executive producer working on X Defiant and 20-year veteran of the industry, revealed that he's quitting the game's business for good. He says, "You won't be hearing about me." In a lengthy post on social media, Mark Rubin mourned the loss of X Defiant, praised the team that put it together, and dropped the nuke by revealing the retirement from the games industry. His career was taken from him through the doors in both Activision and Ubisoft, and has also been instrumental in bringing many games to life over the last 2 decades.
Yeah,
so
I wonder if the corpos are doing well. I wonder if people's mental state working for corpos is doing well. I wonder if decades of doing the same shit over and over are creating any kind of positive feedback in the industry currently. I wonder.
He says, as I've decided to leave the industry and spend more time with the family, so unfortunately, you won't be hearing about me making another game. I doubt it. I guarantee you,
as soon as someone gives him more money,
he takes 2 years off, and Mark Rubin comes back with a brand new studio or new game, 100%.
Yeah, it'll be a mobile game. It'll be a mobile game.
Oh,
it'll make $1 billion. Yeah, it'll be a mobile game.
It'll be something with Unreal Engine, something where you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
He says, I do care passionately about the shooter space and hope that someone else can pick up the flag that was trying to carry and make the games again and care about the players and treat them with respect and treat them with respect. You literally shoved the game out with broken netcode the entire time. And they told you not to release this game with broken netcode in October of the year before. And yet, for some strange reason, this game came out with broken netcode.
Doesn't matter.
But we respect the
tell
fans.
me-
We respect
you-
the fans.
You tell me what other industry where somebody will hand you $100 million to make a digital product, and then you can release a digital product in any state imaginable, promise that you're going to fix it along the way, collect as much money as you can, pay off the lawyers, close down, and still buy your house in the Caribbean. Like, what other industry can you do this in? None. No place else can you do what these fuckers are doing in this industry. Nowhere.
Look. I'll throw the ball on his court, right? I do believe that Mark Rubin came out, and because he's a producer, and he tried to make a game, and he tried to do what he did, but he got dicked over by upper management and the suits on the other side, and obviously he got screwed over because they said that they were done. He said, "No, we're not. We have another season." And a couple days later, they're like, "Sorry,
funding.
we're closed." Right? So he didn't know what was going on, obviously, because behind his back, they already made the decision. Well, this is not making enough money, and we got to cut our losses, right? So
Yes.
I don't want to say that Mark Rubin is the problem here, but at the same time, I do believe that he was trying to take advantage of the gamers. I do believe he was trying to make a game that was supposed to be filled with microtransactions and stuff like that, and they had to change along the way.
You have to satisfy your investors.
Right.
You have to satisfy investors. What's my return? If we give you $100 million, what's our return? And some crazy Nazi guy in the background is going, I give you 20%, no problem. Right? Doing what? It's a broken game. We sell costumes. Don't worry. Like, no, bro. No, your game does not do shit. Don't do shit. Broken netcode is like the bare minimum of a game coming out, bro. Broken netcode. The game just doesn't work. Right?
I'm trying to get
keep buying it.
I'm trying to get all the bad stories out first, and then we'll get into better news. So that's multiverses.
Better news. Who got married? Anyone? No. I'm laughing on the inside right now because you told me that Keeley Fest is tomorrow.
Yeah, you didn't. You were shocked.
Right?
You're like, yeah, it's 5 o'clock tomorrow.
I thought it was like July or August, bro.
No, it's June. It's
Bro.
June.
I want. That's what I thought. That's why I thought. I can't wait to see what they're going to talk about for 2 hours. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Keely's got world premieres ready to go, right?
Can't wait to see it.
Speaking of world premiere, Call of Duty decided to put world premiere of ads on the screen when you go into the game, Sarge, right?
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And what happened was it was a mistake. They didn't mean to put the ads on the load screen and while you're customizing your guns. It was a mistake. It was a glitch. It wasn't actually supposed to happen.
You know
I
when
love
you
this.
You know
I
when you
love this.
upload stuff, right? You okay it, and then it uploads a thing, and then you have to make sure it
You're
works.
coding it and putting it into the actual game,
Right.
right? And,
So
and you have to upload to the
you have
actual
to
game.
upload it, and
Yeah.
then you have to make sure it works. So then you have to run it again. So when it loads, you see if it actually took. Right. That's part of the programming process.
Like somebody actually probably worked on the where to put the ads, where they pop up, how long they stay up for, right? What are they doing? They have to promote the actual things. Like they had advertisers.
Right.
and
You
they
have
said,
to make
"Hey,
sure
we're
the
gonna
ad
put it-"
comes up.
Like there's a whole bunch of stuff
Right.
that happened, and they're like, "Oops,
Right. Oops.
it was just a mistake. It wasn't supposed to happen." What do you mean it wasn't supposed to happen? This is 100% planned, and you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, and people are like, what is this? We paid $70 for this game. We don't want ads. Their pushback, this is not what they said, but their pushback would be like, well, there's a lot of people that didn't pay $70, and they're in the war zone. That's free to play, so we need to put ads in there, right? So they said it was, a mistake, which is just, let's call it what it is. Fucking bullshit, right?
Yep.
Fucking bullshit.
Yep.
So we'll see. Yeah, little oopsie. Yeah, we by mistake. Is this the same thing that Microsoft did a couple years ago when they're like, oh yeah, they're raising the price of Game Pass. They're like, no, that was just a mistake. And then 6 months later, they raised the price of Game Pass, right? Hello, we understand how it works. I mean, I get it. Like 77% of the people don't know how to read in the United States, so they probably just like, I don't know. Yeah, they said it was a mistake, right? So that's it. So Warzone put ads in their game, okay, and now they took them out because they got caught and people were like didn't like it. But what is funny though, there's been ads in games before and no one like was throwing a fit, but now they are because now they've like woken up out of a coma, right? They see it and they're like, what is this? Are they trying to sell me something as I'm trying to buy something? What's happening here, right? So it is stupid that people are complaining about it now, but at the same time, it's stupid that they're like, oopsie, it was just a glitch.
Yeah,
get out of here.
I don't go for the oopsie talk. Sorry.
Yeah,
There's
no,
too
oopsie.
many. There's too many steps in the process for that to get into the game and okay it. You can't tell me it's an oopsie. It's fine.
So here's one of my favorite things I love talking about. People that love EA Sports and Madden football. Madden football is the king of regurgitation. Take something out, put something back in, and make it look like it's brand new, right? Remember the Kona Vision? The Kona Vision, the hit stick, the catch with your fingers, the sideline catch, the tippy toe thing. They put something in, they hype it up for that season. They're like, look, the Kona Vision, you could throw where it is. And then they take it out, right? And then they put it back in like 5 years later. And they're like, oh, look, the Kona Vision. Everyone's like, oh, my God, did you see it? Put the Kona Vision in, right?
The weather.
So So now we have more Madden 26 features, including presentation and franchise mode updates. Okay, EA Sports has released a first trailer of Madden 26, as well as deeper look into some of it. And post on the game's website, the developer dived into what players can expect when they load up the latest and long-running franchise. From the weather dynamics to franchise mode updates and presentations. Weather dynamics. Hello? Weather dynamics have been in the game
since the 90s.
Like seriously.
Since
like
the
1996 or like 2003.
Yeah,
when
it rained, your guy had a better chance of dropping the ball or not throwing the ball long enough.
Right. So there's plenty of Madden fans that are hopeful with the Madden 26. Starting with the gameplay, Madden 26 introduces a number of updates with the goal to enhance the on-field experience for players. It starts with the real NFL data integration from over the decade of players' data, which they did before. A new QB DNA system brings over 500 new animations and personalized mechanics. You know what I can't wait for the next Madden? Every year, I don't even play Madden, but every year I watch the Angry Joe review of Madden.
The best.
Because he gets so...
It's the best.
Him and other Joe, Joe gets red face, like, what do you have, He's just
he's gonna be the first guy that has like a coronary or an aneurysm.
He's gonna have a heart attack
on camera.
Yeah. So it says personalize the mechanics for each quarterback, making the star like Josh Allen and Joe Burrow to feel unique. On the sidelines, a new coach DNA system uses the machine learning to replicate the head coach tendencies with dynamic suggestions, play calling, and personal-driven decisions. Let's stop this shit.
None of that means anything.
Yeah.
None of that means anything for the game.
You're doing two plays. You're doing a West Coast offense. Running back runs out to the left side and you throw it, and then he runs down the sideline. Or if someone sees it and they rush in on you, then you just throw a bomb up the middle and then someone catches it and you get a touchdown. No one needs 600 plays and the dynamic of the coaches and all this other. It's the same shit over and over. You find the two plays that work. That's what you do. No one can stop you. Play on, right? So decision of the mirror real NFL coaches like Dan Campbell. Okay, so making it tougher on the field. Moving to the next game's weather is now players have a bigger role than ever before in Madden 26. The new system will impact players' visibility, stamina, and general movement, physics, and more in every game. There was a tease of dynamic weather in the trailer that changes throughout the game, but it wasn't mentioned in the blog post. Did they take the weather system from Battlefield 2042 with the tornado? Did they just move it on over to Madden? They're like, hey, dynamic weather. We need to put something. We could put it in the Madden. Yeah, let's put back in Madden. Let's put the rain and snow and wind.
They have index cards sitting on a board, and some dude goes, "Well, what are we adding this year?" And he throws a dart, and whatever it sticks to, that's the new thing we put in the game.
We're putting dynamic weather back in. Woo! Dynamic weather. Okay.
The coach throws a clipboard when you make a bad play. Woo!
The wear and tear system that debuted in College Football 25 last season is also making its way back to Madden this year. The wear and tear system will affect players' performance over time, and dynamic substitution lets you make situational changes without pausing the game.
Hey, how's that wear and tear going to work out when you have to buy cards to get guys? How's that work? Right? You spend money, they buy the guy, you finally get the guy, then he wears and tears, and then he's no good anymore. So I just lost $10 because he wear and teared himself to death. that how
That's
we're going
it.
to play this now?
Broke his ankle out for the
Is
season.
that how we're going to do it?
Request new depth chart positions, including edge, nose tackle, long snapper, and gadget role for two-way players like Jacksonville Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter. Latest with the gameplay, EA is touting foundational football updates across the board. These updates to the game focus on core mechanics like blocking, zone coverage, and player movement. It's the same. It's the same. They're not changing shit. Okay. The goal is to feel more realistic and the players in the situation while giving more control to the players' various situations and new custom defense zones. Okay, game mode presentation changes. The biggest mode in the game for many players is the franchise superstar and getting more love and needed improvements of Madden 26. First, franchise mode is getting a new coach customization options, coach abilities, metagame, new play sheets, and there's also a new halftime shows. This is fantastic.
Isn't it?
The best football game ever created is on the Sega Dreamcast, which was NCA. I'm sorry, not NCA. The hell is it? 2K football, right? That's the best football. ESPN 2K football with the halftime show with Chris Berman doing the halftime, showing actual clips and stuff. That was the best halftime show you could do. Nope. Haven't done that since, 2003? Because they have the license for the last 20 plus years.
It's absurd, bro. It's absurd. Listen, the only way this stops is the fan base for Madden just has to say, you guys have to make a new game, period. We're not buying it anymore. You just have to stop. Just do it one time. You understand what happens if you don't buy the game one time. The whole studio closes down. They have to start fresh. It's up to us. You guys have all the power, right? You see what we can do when we don't buy something. The studios go away. They just go away. Like, Madden has to go away, and the exclusive nonsense has to stop.
Yeah,
I want to see 3 football games.
If Madden football didn't sell well, NFL would pull that license so fast. Say, everybody can make an NFL game.
Yes.
That's basically what they do. Yeah. But everyone's like, nope, got to keep playing. Got to keep playing Madden football. Keep doing the exact same thing over and over. Put the Kona Vision, put the dynamic weather back in, put the zone coverage back in. Same stuff. All right. Next story. MetaQuest 4. Okay, 4 leaks suggest that we're going to be waiting a long time for the next VR headset.
What do we not?
This is just VR.
Bro, we've been doing this show since 2014, right?
Yeah, 2015.
How many VRs have we seen since 2014?
This is our
three.
This is our
three or fourth.
Yeah, this is our fourth rendition of VR headsets that come out.
I think it's the third though. I think it's about every 4 years or so.
Well, they always talk about like it's the latest, hottest, greatest thing.
No, I know, but they
I love VR. I have a VR headset. Don't get me wrong.
But the games, I look at VR as a separate tech than the video games, right?
Sure.
Every time VR comes out with something new and pushes the envelope, it gets a little bit better, and more games come out that people want to actually try. But the same things are there. The same things are still hindering it. Mass appeal, eyeball sickness from wearing a console, wearing the thing on your head because not everybody can play it. So you can't get the numbers needed, and cost, right? They have to get the cost down. Right? Once the cost comes down and it becomes like it will come with your system like a controller comes with your system, right? That's where it's got to be. Where it's got to be.
Well,
until then,
MetaQuest is the one closest. I mean, they're the best-selling VR headset, right? When they got to the $300, $400 price tag, that was the best. PSVR 2 was selling theirs for $500 alone. Now they're down to like $350, and you can also use it for your PC. But you're always going to have this wall.
It's not, but it will not be a wall for long.
It will, because people get nauseous and motion sickness when they put this stuff on.
They're gonna figure out a way. They're gonna figure it out how to get people not to be nauseous. It's gonna happen, right? Once you get people to be in a world and then leave the world, the shitty world that they've created, and go into a virtual world, everyone will buy this like they bought iPhones, bro. It'll be that quick. Until then,
they have to make.
Until then, this is a niche market. Until then, it's a niche market.
This has to look like. I understand there's glasses out there. I do understand that, but the glasses that you're wearing is not like what this is. When they can get what this is in regular glasses, that's when everything changes, right? When you're walking around like this, and you see someone on the subway with this, or you see someone in a restaurant with this, no, it's not going to happen. You're not going to see everyone walking around the city with this on their face, but you will see people walk around with a pair of thicker glasses, all right, thicker glasses on there, and it's going to be more of the AR type of stuff, not VR type of stuff, right? AR will take off before VR takes off, and they'll have to put something, if you're playing video games, on your glasses. They would have to put something where the glasses, which they have in some of these things, where you black them out. You know what I mean? They get like blackout lenses on top. So if it's AR, then all of a sudden you put blackout lenses on top, more accessories they can sell, and then that becomes the VR headset where you're looking at it and you're looking out into the VR world type of thing. Until that happens, I don't think it's going to be a massive seller.
Just a little thing on Salty's little comment. Like, trust me when I say this. The mind is all electrical impulses. When they figure out how to map the electrical impulses in your brain and be able to transfer that into another electric brain, that's just a computer. It's the same shit, right? The complexity of your brain is just electrical impulses. Everything that you are is electrical impulses. If you think about it for too long, you'll make yourself have a panic attack and how you actually even function, right? But if they can take your consciousness and put it into a synthetic because you have got cancer and you can go on living, you're damn right that will happen.
Yeah, that
you are damn right. You guys remember the movie Surrogates? Anybody remember the movie Surrogates? Anyone? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you know Surrogates. And if you have never seen Surrogates, you should watch it. Way ahead of its time. Everybody watched that and was like, this is insane. I don't even understand what's going on. That's called Next Tuesday, guys. That's what that movie is. Like, that's plausible. Fucking plausible.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in technology. It's gonna be crazy. You'll probably put like a contact lens in, and it'll do the exact same thing. You know what I mean? Then people will be while they're watching you, they're watching something completely different. You know what I mean? But they're like having a conversation with you, but they're not really paying attention to you. They're watching like a movie in the background of their eyeball.
Well, just go down the rabbit hole just a little bit. If the graphical fidelity and the illusion to the eyes make you believe that you're there, then you're there. So then you don't have to go anywhere. You can go there virtually and you will say to yourself, I was there. Imprints on your brain retain the information. If I tell your brain that you were there, then you were there, right? The difference between reality and virtual reality is very minute. The wall holding those two things separate is very, very thin. Yeah. Very thin.
What's happening now with these headsets, if you compare this headset to the last headset and the last headset to the headset before,
exponentially better.
They're just getting smaller. They're trying to get them like 10% smaller, 20% smaller, right? That's exactly what they're going to do until they get to the point where they come out and they're like, bam, glasses, right? So basically, the MetaQuest 4 probably won't be seen until 2026 and maybe not until 2027 when this is all said and done, right? So they're still working on it. I have a MetaQuest 2, right? MetaQuest 3 is really good, and then they have the 3S, and then Xbox has got an Xbox One that we saw, but we haven't heard anything about, where they just make it where it's just a gaming headset to play your games on it, which is like a Game Pass headset, which we haven't heard of, in a long time. All right, let's go to Switch 2 news. All right, so Nintendo Switch 2 launched today, midnight release. Look, it's about goddamn time someone did a midnight release. I used to love going to midnight releases. Okay, obviously I didn't go to this one because I don't care about the Nintendo Switch 2. But Nintendo Switch 2 players hit a launch issue as Mario Kart World won't download. Okay, it says Switch 2 console releases globally today, but seems to be a hiccup for those looking to jump into Mario Kart World immediately as the game won't download. Mario Kart World is a standout launch title on Switch 2 and the first new entry in the series for over a decade, but the problem is occurring for those lucky enough to have a console in hand. Mario Kart World won't download and has been a major Google search time worldwide, with players also taking on to Reddit complaining about the issue in search of the solution. Players attempting to install Mario Kart World have been hit with an error code 2813-0171, informing them that the product hasn't been released yet, despite the launch having passed right? So what's causing the Mario Kart World download issue? It says from the information we're being reported by the encountering problems, it appears that Mario Kart World download issue are tied to Switch 2 and Mario Kart World bundles. Well, that's good. You spend $500 and you and you can't play it. There appears to be two types of these bundles, with the issues occurring for those who purchased a Switch 2 with Mario Kart World graphic on the box, and those with the stickers on the box that are not facing are not facing problems. So if you got a sticker on your box, no problem. But if you got the one that was printed with the Mario Kart on the box, problem. Okay, it seems to be due to the sticker version, including a card with the download code, where the box graphic version appears to have the game automatically redeemed. In the United States, those who purchase from Best Buy seem to have no issues, and while those also secure their console from GameStop have faced problems. And however, users in New Zealand also have been reporting the issue. So, chat, any of you guys bought the Nintendo Switch 2, and are you having problems that are being reported with the actual Mario on the box or sticker on the box?
You know what? You know, it'd be great if you bought the Switch 2 with Mario Kart and it just loaded up because the game was fucking on the disc.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
Instead of this whole nonsense where I got to download something even though I got the disc, but it's not really the disc. It's just a little piece of plastic that says I bought it already. Like, get the fuck out of my face, man. Get the fuck out of my face. $500, load it up, can't play the game, immediately goes back in the box. You can keep it. Right? Someone tell me why I need a Switch 2 as opposed to having the Switch 1. Someone tell me.
I don't think you personally need a Switch, but if the only way I can justify this, now obviously, I compare Nintendo.
Never, Ron. Never.
I compare Nintendo adults to Disney adults, right?
Yeah, they don't belong there.
Disney adults love Disney when they were kids and they grew up and they love Disney. And I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying this is exactly the same thing. Like if you're a Uber fan, you turn into like a 40, 50-year-old and you're just obsessed with Disney, right? If you play Nintendo and now you're obsessed with Nintendo, those people are going to buy the system. But also a lot of parents need to buy the system if maybe they didn't have a Switch 1 or just this game, Mario Kart, right? My son wanted this because of just because of Mario Kart. And I went, you're not getting it anytime soon, okay? Anytime soon. Like we're talking 2, 3, right? 3 years, okay? Before I look at this and go, all right, maybe we'll pick it up. Right now, no. Because I know that Nintendo, they come out with their first system, then they come out with the OLED, then they come out with the thinner unit, then they come out with the more powerful battery unit, right? They just keep doing this over and over. So I'd rather wait to get all the bugs and glitches out for all the people that love their thing and buy this one and they'll buy the next one and they'll buy this. That's what I'm going to wait for. I don't think because we're not the Nintendo adults, we're not the Disney adult like that, so we don't need it. But for families, the people that have family and kids, the Nintendo Switch is going to sell. This is my example. Nintendo's handed to you at birth, and you turn it in when you die, right? That's the fan base of Nintendo.
No, I get it. I wanna zero in on the rumor that somebody stapled their screen.
Oh, we have this. That's the next story.
Right. I want to zoom in on that real quick.
There it
is. We could bounce around. I'm sorry. I do not believe this to be a true thing. If it happened, that would mean that your Switch has zero packaging, zero covers, zero styrofoam, and is up against the goddamn box. Because a staple depth, a staple depth is not enough to go through a cardboard box and through any other packaging material and get into the goddamn screen. I'm sorry. If that's possible, there's no fucking packaging in that box. Is the Switch taped to the side of the fucking box, and that's where it is?
It would be if Nintendo skipped out on the packaging, where the package is smaller. They showed the packaging is smaller. If the cardboard is thinner and the styrofoam they use is thinner, because when someone staples, they push, and you don't think it goes down that far, but because they're using a stapler not the correct way, and they're using the stapler, the prongs are going to go straight down instead of hitting the part where they bend up when you staple a piece of paper.
That's the depth of a staple, bro.
Yeah, I understand that.
What are we talking about?
You can see the box is pretty thin, right? So in the picture, you see the 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect match. So multiple people are saying this. So I don't think this is widespread. Obviously, I think
Well,
this is
isn't
a
gonna
guy at
save
GameStop
Nintendo.
that's just bam, bam, right?
Bro, this isn't going to save Nintendo any money if the store's got to keep warranting all these goddamn things because some Neanderthal is slamming staples into a box.
Well, I'm not sure if Nintendo would be responsible for this. This is GameStop stapling the fucking thing to the box. Why? I have no idea. What are we? The Neanderthals just hand them the fucking receipt.
Is someone going to steal it from you before you get out the door?
Like, just hand them the receipt. This is my receipt. This is my box. Like I don't know. I'll tell you.
How about
right?
some tape? You can't just put some tape on the receipt?
I mean,
I gotta be banging, bang! I gotta be banging staplers on a fucking. Come on, bro.
Look how hard this guy pressed.
bro.
Because look, you can see. Look, I'm gonna do NCIS detective work here, right? Look at this. I can't make it any bigger, right? The guy that pushed down on this staple here, he slammed it, dude. Look tore the box. It tore the box. It indented the box across the way to get to the next staple. Right? He was like, congratulations. You got a Switch. Like he's like, here you go. Yeah, like, but you're so excited.
But even if I open up the stapler, right? And I just went like this, bang.
Look,
that's not gonna do that, dude.
41%, Sarge. 41%.
41%. What's 41%?
Oh.
Marriages? What's
No,
41%?
Do you not know? Yeah, you were in chat when we talked about 41%.
What's 41%?
Okay, 41%. Okay. California is passing a law for school boards, like a new grade scale, okay, in California.
Oh, yeah, the grading scale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was mistaken because I thought 41% was a passing D, and I'm mistaken, Sarge. 41%
passing
is a C.
Yeah, you know what?
21% is a D, and if you get a 20, then you fail.
It's not even worth a discussion because those kind of people who pass on a 41% won't make it past 25. It'll be very simple, bro.
GameStop employee is a 41%er.
It'll solve itself. When you are that dumb, right? Anything can get you. A hangnail, a light switch, a bad appliance plugged into the wall. Like they don't know to disinfect. It just gets infected. They get a blood infection. Like at 41%, we will clean out house on ourselves. It won't fucking matter. Don't worry. You guys think that 41% is going to be involved in some kind of job and you're going to run into them? They're going to affect your life. They'll be dead before they get to you.
This is the guy that's putting the staple in the box, right? He's like, he's slamming.
Yeah, that's the stapler. That's the stapler.
Congratulations.
That's the stapler. Yeah, that's the stapler guy right there.
That's how hard he was pushing the stapler. He's jumping off the top rope, fucking hitting it.
Ridiculous, bro. Absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Like what are we doing?
Like congratulations on your Switch. Give me a break, bro. Like I'm not falling for this shit, dude. Yeah. I'm not falling for this shit.
He's walking around with a 2x4 like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's like, oh, and then slamming the thing down. You gotta
absolutely
congratulations.
Absurd.
Right,
My
that guy
is broken. The guy at GameStop smashes things. Get the fuck out of here. That's a conversation that someone has to have. Somebody's crying because somebody used the stapler. Then you have to have an argument about the stapler. What kind of stapler? Did it void the warranty? How's that phone call going to go? It's going to sound mental, bro.
Yeah,
It's going to sound completely mental.
Your employee, Chris, stapled my thing too hard. Chris no longer works here. Well, you have to do something. We can give you in-store credit. We can give you in-store credit. We'll take it back and trade it in for $40. Like, I just bought it for $500.
Yeah, no way.
We'll give you $40 and a gift card for in-game store only. Thanks, GameStop.
Yeah. So the way Japan figured it out, right before they shipped it, right, was pull all the packaging out of it and just staple it.
Yeah, we had to save money.
Tape it to the side of the box to save on money for shipping. So just take it. Put it in the box, like right up against the cardboard, and just like put one of them twist ties on it. Hold it to the box like this. Like that's how it's taped. That's how it's in the box.
The thing, so
that's how it's in the box. It's just like this. So when the guy comes over and puts staples in it, it goes right into the screen. You guys aren't even fucking thinking about that, bro. How far away from the box is the screen that a staple goes into it? It's nonsense, bro.
Do you know how much
it's nonsense
research and development goes into boxes? Do you understand this?
Yeah, I get it.
Like, there's a whole team that does the packaging, and they millions of dollars are spent on the packaging of a box and how it folds and how it lays in the box and the inserts of the box.
So this particular product, they went, fuck the insides. Just throw the fucking thing in there.
They said, well, if we put the box that we want to have, it's going to cost us an additional $4 billion. And they're like, what about if we don't put a piece of plywood in there or a piece of styrofoam in there? Right? They're like, yeah, it's not going to worry about it. Let's do it.
You could have put in crumbled paper. Just crumbled paper that through the switch in there. And you still wouldn't have got staples into the goddamn screen. Don't tell me that this fucking thing wasn't like this against the fucking box. It's fucking mental, bro.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, right? All right. Next thing, let's see. Buy current stock. Yeah, we won't talk about that. That's
Idiocracy,
the in
bro.
stock.
We're like around the corner. Like idiocracy.
We're not too far, Sarge. We're not too far.
41%? No, we're not far at all, bro. We're not far at all.
All right. Fortnite. Let's talk about Fortnite. Okay. Fortnite right now is at its lowest player base in 2 years. Now, this is not one of those stories, Sarge, that I want to say, is Fortnite going to recover? That's not what I want to talk about, right? What I want to talk about is Fortnite boss makes a bold claim about the AI video. Oh, that's the wrong one. Where's the one? This is the one. Fortnite player count drops to the lowest point in 2 years. Okay. So I want to talk about Star Wars. Okay. Now, right now, the mini season of Star Wars is happening in Fortnite. Okay. People are saying that right now, Star Wars is like the hypest thing right now because of this, because of Andor, because of people doing the Battlefront 2. Trying to get Battlefront 3 made type of thing. But this is the lowest numbers, right? And I'm going to go with this. My son came up to me and said, I don't like, he loves Star Wars. Loves Star Wars. Was super excited, right, about when the season came out. 2 weeks in, he's like, I don't like this season. And I'm like, why? What's up? He's like, it's too spammy. It's too spammy. And I'm like, what do you mean it's too spammy? He's like, the guns, they don't have any ammo. They just, because it's Star Wars, right? They don't have to, so they make it like Star Wars weapons. Well, what's happening is a lot of people are just using sniper rifles, and the sniper rifles are just long-distance shooting and stuff like that. So it's the meta or whatever, right? Well, a lot of people don't like that. They like the skins, they like the events that's going on, but people don't like what's happening in the season, so they're stopped playing. Okay? Even my son, he's already like level 109 or whatever, or 10 or 120. He got done with the season pass, and he's playing other games. He's playing like Farm Sim, he's playing like other things because he's just done. And I was just like, that's kind of strange, right? Because you would think that Star Wars, okay, but I was watching another podcast and they were talking about how Star Wars, and we've talked about this on this show, is just damaged. The brand is damaged, right? Is it? I know it's damaged on the toy front, and I know it's damaged on the movie front, right? For the entertainment side, I didn't think it was that damaged on the video game side, because there's still a lot of games that people like playing in Star Wars. Now, Star Wars Outlaws came out, and that didn't do very well, but I don't think that was because of Star Wars. I think it was because of what they did with Star Wars, right? And people like this, but do you think, and I'll ask this to chat, do you think it's Star Wars is too damaged of a brand for anyone to touch? Because Fortnite, which is in the top 5 every month, right? It's one of the top 6 games in the last decade, okay, where everyone's always playing it, and yet this is the lowest season they've had with the Star Wars. There's got to be a correlation with Star Wars, right?
Well, first of all, the brand is irreversibly damaged. Right? Number 2, adults stopped caring about Star Wars, so their kids stopped caring about Star Wars, right? Fortnite is about kids playing. They know what Star Wars is. And if your 10-year-old son says the game is spammy because you took away the weightiness of the weapons on why you pick different weapons, and it's just supposed to be a good old time or going around and shooting shit, takes away the challenge of the actual game while you're playing it, right? And once again, I will say this 1,000 times every show, it's all about time.
Yeah.
If your game's not fun, I don't care how pretty it looks. If your game's not fun, I got 25 other games I can play that is fun. Don't care. Next, right? So if you're telling me that Fortnite, the number top 5 game, top 5 game, always up, and this is the lowest complaint, It's definitely not Fortnite's fault. It's Star Wars' fault.
Right. Yeah. And look, I think it's weird because you look at some of the Star Wars games and people love the Star Wars games, like Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor did well. Battlefront 2 did well when even though it closed down, it still sold like 15 million copies, 12 million copies, 15 million copies before it stopped supporting. And now it's way past that because it was on sale or they give it for free on Epic and stuff. So there's a lot more people playing it. I'm just baffled by this. I do think the brand is unreversible.
Irreversibly damaged.
Yeah, irreversible damage, right?
Yeah.
And then later this year, we got Star Wars coming into Destiny. And I think that hurts the brand even more. I think the brand, it gets hurt more when you take the brand of Star Wars and start shoving it into other games just to be like, hey, you want to be Darth Vader? Like, it destroys the brand even more, right? Yeah. And
because
this shows me...
It's discount land now.
Yes. Yeah. It's the bargain bin, basically, right? Right? When you go to certain stores, there's... Perfect example. We went to Disney World the other day, okay? We went to Epcot. We like going to Epcot for the food and stuff like that, right? And there's this giant store that they have there where they have all the toys, right? T-shirts, toys, mugs, whatever. We walked in there, and my son's like, where's the Star Wars toys? They had three Star Wars toys. They had the Darth Vader helmet that you push the side of the helmet and it talks, right? They had an R2-D2 unit, like plastic toy type of thing. And then they had like the bath toys, you know, where it comes in a set of like 12 characters and they're like, don't move. They're just hard plastic type of thing that you could squeeze and they make a sound when you put them in the water type of thing, right? Like that stuff. That's it. I looked around. I was like, where the fuck is Star Wars? Like, we're at Disney World.
Nobody's buying that shit, bro.
Right, we're at Disney World, and there's no Star Wars toys.
Nobody's buying that.
They own the toys, and they don't even have the toys in their own fucking place.
Have you been to an Ollie's? I went to an Ollie's. Have you been one?
All you see in Ollie's...
Giant
Black Panther
of
2,
garbage.
Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, and then I forget what other... Just thousands of characters that no one touches.
Don't care. Kathleen Kennedy would have to be shot into a rocket, into space, crash into a space station, blow up, and then the fireworks that fall down would say, KK is no more. And Star Wars might have a small chance to come back. Might have a small chance to come back. They don't care. Imagine being so big that the IPs that people grew up generations on, you destroy to the point where nobody cares about it anymore, and you still say to yourself, I'm not going to turn this around. I'm not going to go back to where it was. I'm going to stay on the same trajectory that I'm on, and I'm going to keep going. And that's your plan.
Right.
Destroying the IPs that people have built up over generations to destroy them. And you're telling me it's not done on purpose? Of course it's done on purpose.
Well, here's another thing. Sticking with Fortnite, at the Unreal Fest that they showed, they started announcing other brands that they're going with, right? So Walking Dead's in Fortnite. What's it called? Teenage Turtles is in Fortnite. They're putting Squid Games into Fortnite. And then they had Last Airbender in Fortnite, where you could take the license. And I think this is really smart on Fortnite's part, right? And also the brand's part. Because instead of licensing out someone going, hey, Last Airbender, who wants that, right? I mean, obviously it's a popular brand, but who's going to pay for the license to make a game? Nobody. But what they would do is give the license to Fortnite, and Fortnite puts that in the game, and sort of like what Everywhere was supposed to be, where you make your own stuff, Fortnite's letting you use the licensing of these major brands, of Walking Dead, of Turtles, of Squid Games, and Last Airbender, and now you can make the games that you want to make with inside of Fortnite itself. And at the very end, they announced the Star Wars brand that's coming, where you can start making your own Star Wars games within Fortnite. And I went, oh, this is why there's not a Battlefront 3. Okay? Because if I can make Battlefront 3 within the world of Fortnite, which is super simple because you can make it first person, third person. You have all the characters that they have in the thing. They can just keep adding. They're putting all the licensing in. So now you're going to be able to make the Star Wars game you want. Star Wars is licensing out their stuff. Whoever wants to make a Star Wars game, just tell us what it is. They're like, yeah, go ahead, do it. They want to. When I saw this, I was like, man, they're going to make a shit ton of money off of this because people will play with it. But I don't know if that helps the brand or if that destroys the brand even more.
There's too much negativity surrounding Star Wars. The narrative that's been written and forced upon us has reached a point where apathy occurred. We don't care. I don't care what kind of Star Wars show you make. Even Andor, that was doing well, it's not doing that well. It's doing well based on all the other shows, but it's just not doing well, right? You irreversibly damage the brand. And what I don't understand is the inability for anyone to want to fix it, because all the reasons why people are not interested in it, not one resolution has been given to fix why we don't want to. Like, that's like saying that you own a business and you sell products and you don't sell products, but then you ask the people why you don't buy the product, and they tell you this is why I don't buy your product. And then you don't care. You don't care for the reason. You don't want to fix the actual problem, because if you did fix it, then you'd have to admit that you were wrong the entire time.
Right.
And that's what they can't admit, right? She cannot admit that her ideas were wrong. The
Right now, it's
people
double
that
down,
she
triple
hired,
down, quadruple down.
the people that she hired were wrong. Because if they admit that they were wrong, guys, you know about this. If you're married, your woman can never, ever admit she was wrong. What are we talking about? We got to drive this car off. We got to Thelma and Louise this bitch. I'm not turning the car around. I'm driving off the goddamn cliff.
If I was the next person in charge of Star Wars, if it's Filoni, like Krebsy is saying, he's got to come out and be like, we're going back. We're getting rid of all this. We made mistakes. If they come out and say this under new management, I think a lot of people are like, all right, you said that you fucked up. I respect that. Now let me show us what you got now, right? Because now that you admit that you're wrong, then we can start getting back to what the problem is and let's fix it. But they don't want to do that. They're going to keep going steamroaring full. Look, as a Star Wars fan, I love Star Wars. Love Star Wars. Okay? So much so I'm pissed off about a character they showed me in Andor, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense timeline-wise, because that's how much of a nerd I am because of the timeline, okay? But I love Star Wars, and I want this Fortnite thing to work. How cool would that be, where I can make my own Battlefront and stuff like that? But at the same time, I'm like, they're going to fuck it up. They're going to fuck it up because they're going to make it too cartoony, or they're going to make this, or they don't put something else in it, and it's just going to... And a part of me wants to succeed, but the other part of me is like, I think it just hurts the brand every single time they take Star Wars and put it into another IP, right? Like if Star Wars comes into No Man's Sky, or if Star Wars goes into Starfield, you know what I mean? Like, obviously Starfield has a mod for that, but what I'm saying is if they paid for the license to be like, well, now you can make Starfield legally into Star Wars, be like, why? Why can't you just make a Star Wars game?
Even at the very least, you would think somebody with half a brain would just make a Star Wars mobile game that's addictive, that just gets people playing it and giving them money. So then they have money to buy to make another Star Wars game. You know what I mean? Like, everybody else has got a mobile game that makes billions of dollars.
Yeah, they have a lot of mobile Star
billions
Wars
of dollars. So are you telling me that even
Galactic
at that
Heroes.
level... Yeah, even at that level, you don't have somebody that wants to make a mobile game just to make some money and then use that money to actually fund a game? Like, I don't understand. How do you not want to actually make money on an IP that was guaranteed?
Yeah.
And if you're not trying to even make the game at all now, that tells me that it's irreversibly damaged. That you don't even want to pay Disney for the license, because even if you bought the license, you're not going to sell enough to make back the money.
Yeah, look, taking an Uzi, I have a song about it. Taking an Uzi and putting it in Mickey Mouse's hands ruins the brand. Taking an Uzi or an AR and putting it in Darth Vader's hands.
I mean, no self-respecting person would use an Uzi, bro.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is putting a weapon in these people's hands, in Darth Vader's hands, it ruins the brand of what it is.
That's correct.
100%, right? Like, you can't... Like, branding is number one. Okay, especially when you have such an iconic character and all of a sudden you put something in their hand, you're like, it just doesn't feel right? And it ruins it. People are like, oh, that's cool, but it might be cool for 3 seconds, but it's not cool because it's literally people are like, it's over. It's like a meme. It's gone, done, move on. So I don't know. I think Fortnite I think is hurting because of the Star Wars brand. I do think Star Wars brand is irreversibly damaged, right? So I don't know. Hopefully they can change it in the future, but we'll see. I think
you already know the answer.
20 years.
You already know the answer.
Before it comes around.
KK's got to go. Everybody involved with it's got to go. Favreau comes in, finds a new kid on the block who knows how to direct. He's got an eye for sci-fi, and you make the Timothy Zahn trilogy, and we're back in business. We're back in business.
It's gonna take someone right now, one of our children, like whoever's watching. If you have a 10, 12, 15-year-old, by the time he's 30, 35, or she's 30, 35, super uber geek, okay, knows the lore stuff, it's gonna take them to change what's happening in Disney, because now it's completely rotted out.
Yeah, if you brought in some fresh eyes who knows the lore, you can bring back Star Wars with the Timothy Zahn trilogy, and then to put the icing on the cake, you could do the Jedi Academy trilogy. Those two trilogies, those 6 movies would bring back Star Wars in a heartbeat. And if you guys have never read the Jedi series, the Jedi Academy series, it's a good read, great 3-book series. And listen, once again, even if you get on audio, I know you guys don't like to read, but you should read more. But if you guys get the book on tape of the Timothy Zahn trilogy, trust me when I say Timothy Zahn understands the cuts, how it's supposed to be written, how it's supposed to look. If you read that book, you can see the movie. That's the kind of writing you need. That's the kind of screenwriter you need.
So that's Fortnite. I don't know about this claim about the AI video game. I'm not going to talk about that. What time is it? 9:41. One of the things that they showed, we'll talk about the state of play, right? The state of play. Sony had their state of play yesterday, and I thought it was pretty. I wasn't going in thinking it was like high expectations. I wasn't. I was just going in, okay, what games are you going to show me, right? And I was excited. I was excited most about the Marvel game they showed at the end, which is called Marvel. It's called Toucan or Tokan Fighting Souls, which is a Marvel versus Capcom type of tag game where you come in. It looks amazing. Here, let me bring it up. I loved the art style, the direction they were going with this. There's not going to be a sound, but this looks absolutely amazing. When this showed at the end of the state of play, I was like, I'm a huge Marvel fan, and this shouldn't have been the last thing they showed. Okay, it should have been something bigger that they showed. But I haven't played a fighting game since Marvel vs. Capcom. Okay, I can't wait when this game comes out. It's coming out for the PlayStation 5 and PC. This thing looks amazing. The art style of this, the Japanese style of this, looks so good. This was my big win for them yesterday, right? I mean, look at it. Now, obviously, there's only 8 characters that they showed. There's going to be more. It's a live service game. That's why it's on PlayStation and PC. So they're going to be supporting, you would hope, supporting a lot more. As I say with any Marvel game, Sarge, the more the merrier. You have to put at least minimum 24 to 30 characters in this thing at launch. Okay? At launch, 24 characters, especially with the tag to mix up, because you have a 4-player team. You can have, I think, a 2 and 3-player team as well. But come on. Tell me this doesn't look good.
I mean,
how many quarters would you put into the arcade cabinet for this thing?
The days of me playing fighting games is long over, but I will say the art style looks incredible. It's a combination of old school anime and comic book, like from the 60s. It looks really good.
Yeah, I want my comic book to look comic booky, right? Yeah. That's exactly. Yeah. I mean, hate this thing that they do where they try to make comic books reality. They try to put it in the real world. Like, no,
but it has a little bit. It has a little bit of that Japanese animation, though, in there. So it's a hybrid, but it does look really good. And I do like the camera angle changes.
Yeah, when they go with the long, it's sort of like Injustice did that type of stuff as well.
That's from comic books as well. Those kind of camera angles are from the depth perception of comics.
Yeah, this is so look.
But when you see a game like this, all I say is, where's the game that looks like this? That's not a fighting game.
That's not a fighting game. I want
if you can make a fighting game like this, then where's the game that looks like that? That's not a fighting game. That's my question immediately.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
I
want to know. I said this yesterday with Jason. We were playing Helldivers, and I said, dude, Marvel's Avengers that came out in 2020, if it had this graphics or Marvel Rivals graphics, I would be playing that game to this day. I would never have stopped if it would look like this, right? Remember Frank Miller's, the hell was that? Sin City?
Mm-hmm.
It's live action, but he made it comic book. You know what I mean? That's what Marvel movies should be like. They should be like comic books onto the big screen, right? Well, the television shows.
Right. It should every movie shouldn't be the same template. There should be some dark ones and some noir ones. There should be.
Well, they're doing a noir one with the Spider-Man now with Nicolas Cage.
But it's still too little, too late. You've milked the Marvel brand into oblivion, right? All it's spitting out now is dust. Let go of the teats and let the cow eat some more because you spent too much time in here, right? Look at his face. It's a combination like of the old G.I. Joe cartoon.
Yes.
Right? Yes. The old G.I. Joe cartoon mixed in with Japanese animation. Look at it. Look at like Iron Man's suit, right? That's definitely Japanese animations from like the Gundam series.
I'm waiting for it to so I can play it.
The Gundam series.
Stop on look at Doom, man. Like, oh come on. This is what I want.
Yeah. No, you're not. It's not a fighting game. Now you see this, it's coming at you, and you have to fight it. Like it's not a fighting game. You see this,
right? You're saying if it wasn't a fighting game, it was
it's
like
not a fighting. You see that, and it's coming at you.
It was an
you
action adventure game or stuff like that. Yeah.
Come on, bro. 4-player co-op, fucking incredible. Incredible.
I hope this does great for them. I hope this does fantastic for Marvel. I am a little confused though, right? Because obviously Marvel doesn't care. Right? Because Marvel, if you're playing this, or if you're playing Marvel Rivals, or if you're playing, Marvel just wants you to play a Marvel game, right? But I do find it interesting that, yes, we have Hydra coming out. Yes, there's another Spider-Man. Yes, I'm talking about Marvel in general, not PlayStation, right? There's other Marvel games coming out. There's the Iron Man game. The Black Panther got canceled. There's an X-Men game in the works. I find it weird that they're doing another fighting game because Marvel Rivals right now is doing very well. And they're like, yeah, let's double down. Let's put another fighting game out there. Well, now, obviously, it's a different type of style.
We talked about this. They chase. It's been a while for fighting games. It's time for another set of fighting games, and here we go.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I haven't played a fighting game like this almost 2 decades, right? I think Marvel vs. Capcom, which is one of my favorite games of all time, fighting games, all right? I loved it. This is going to get me back in. And then so much so, Sony's coming out with a big-ass, arcade controller system that they had. Who knows what that's going to cost? I can't find a price right now.
But the competitive fighting consumer base, that's what they like. They like the fighting games, right? Back in the day, I loved fighting games, right? I had the advantage. We bought the advantage, the big ass stick that we use for fighting games instead of using the controllers. But once again, I played fighting games until the end. Right. There was so many at that time that I lost count.
Fighter,
right. There's so many. I'm talking about like the third and fourth
Killer Instinct
box ones. They're like you don't even know what the hell like Killer Instinct was the ridiculous combos, like 127 combos.
Virtual Fighter with a drunken monk. Yeah,
right. All kinds of stuff, dude. So many fighting games. Like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat were like the beginning. Then there was like this other tier of just
Killer Instinct was
insane.
Yeah, Killer Instinct was huge. So there's that, right? And then they showed a bunch of other games. They showed a James Bond game, right? I don't have it up here. Let me see if I can find it. They have a James Bond game they showed. James Bond looked pretty good. Let me see if I can get some footage here. Oh, is this in the order they showed it? I think it is. No. Oh, interesting. Did they put it up in the top? Oh yeah, it's in the top. So, I guess I can make this full screen. No, picture in picture. Okay. Anyway, we'll put it up here, and I don't know why it's not playing. But James Bond, young James Bond. This is James Bond, prequel to James Bond, before he becomes, or as he becomes 007. So that's coming out. And I thought that looked pretty good. It looked like it reminded me of like an Uncharted meets like an Indiana Jones type of feel. Definitely, heavy, cutscene story type of stuff. Silent Hill F.
Well, James Bond has to be a combination of Hitman.
Well, it is. It's made by Hitman guys.
Well, a combination of that and a couple other games together. They have to put them together. Yeah,
it's Hitman with hair.
I mean, Hitman is very tactical. Like, you're supposed to figure out the way to kill the person. That's one thing. But like, James Bond's not a straight up assassin. It's more of a CIA. MI6 is CIA. Like, it's puzzle solving and trying to figure out what's going on, and then there's action, and then there could be some Hitman stuff. So it's a hybrid game. Like, listen, if done right, a James Bond game could do a 3 or 4 game series. Easy.
Oh, easy. Yeah. Then you got Final Fantasy Tactics as a remake. It's coming out. Okay. You got Neo 3, which a lot of people are excited for. That was a lot of people's top game that they saw yesterday. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. We have Ghost of Yotei, which we knew. A little disappointed they didn't show more gameplay at
it should concern you.
Their show. And I do understand that because they don't want to put the cart before the horse. And the next horse is Death Stranding 2. That's coming out for PlayStation. And once that comes out, then they'll start showing Yotei. And Yotei is being shown in July after, I believe, Death Stranding comes out. Astrobot's got more DLC coming out. Lumens is also was there. Didn't really excite me. This game looked interesting. Pragmatica reminded me of Dead Space. I couldn't say it yesterday. I couldn't remember. It reminded me of Dead Space meets like BioShock a little bit, right? And BioShock loosely because it's like the what's the guy's name? The big, is it Big Daddy? Right? Is that what the character's called in BioShock chat?
Yeah,
I forget.
The enemy guy is the Big Daddy.
Yeah, where the girl rides on his back, type of stuff like that. That's what it reminded you of. This looks actually pretty good. So not my type of game. I think it's a roguelike, if I'm not mistaken. So that's coming out. Then you have Thief is back in VR mode or VR game. Then you have Romeo is a Dead Man. Okay, Romeo is a Dead Man. This was weird looking at the same time. Very interesting. This is coming out in 2026. So is Pragmatica coming out in 2026. Then you got the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection that's coming out, right? So obviously, if you're a big fighting fan, big Mortal Kombat fan, you get all of them coming back out. So they have that. There's the big joystick that they're coming out with. Nintendo had the best one. Nintendo's one that they made back in the day was
the Advantage.
The Advantage. Ninja Gaiden Rage Rebound has July. Bloodstained, Scarlet Engagement that's coming out. Tides of Tomorrow. Then we have Swords of the Sea, which this one it made me laugh. It chuckled because a lot of people are a defender of Game Pass is bad. Game Pass is bad. Sony doesn't do their thing. And I said I like Sony's business model. I said I like their Sony business model, but I understand what Game Pass is doing. This is a first-party title game that's coming on day one on PlayStation Plus, okay? Which they said they would never do because that's bad. Like the PlayStation guys said it themselves. They don't believe in that business model and they won't do it. Only live service games. Well, Exhibit A, meaning there's the door kicked open. Here's the first party title coming in a day and date, right? And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that, where there's smoke, there's fire, because if they do this, they're going to do more and more and more. So we'll see what happens there. We have Sea of Remnants, which looked pretty interesting. Then we have Survival Climber. This actually looks pretty cool. This is a climbing survival game where you're a rock climber climbing up a thing, and you have like survival where you have to eat and drink, and you have to you get injured on the way, and you have think of it like Oregon Trail. You know what I mean? But you're as you're going up the mountain, you're getting injured, and you have to heal yourself and
nobody
rest.
Nobody gets hysteria.
What's that?
And nobody gets
hysteria. Right, nobody gets hysteria. Yeah. So there's that. We got Digimon Story. That's coming out. We have Everybody's Golf Hot Shots with Pac-Man now in there. Like I don't really give a shit about that, but there it is. We got
But you do know that the cycle of games gets to a point where they're going to eventually have a show like this where there's not a lot of first-party titles and there's only third-party titles. That's just how it's going to happen, right? Because they don't have enough studios working that are going to release games in a timely fashion. You have to wait in between.
Right.
So right now, of course, everybody's screaming that PlayStation doesn't have any games and they have all Xbox games, and you'd be right. But at the same time, you can't argue with the fact of development time doesn't always maintain the cycle of games you want every year.
Right. It has nothing to do with the first-party titles. Sony's business model is they don't want to put games on PlayStation Plus.
I'm talking about the show.
No. I'm talking about the chat because Krebsy and El Nini are saying it's not first-party title. Heads of Sony said they don't want to put because it destroys the gaming industry if you put games on a service right away because it's unsustainable, right? People have said that, current people have said that, and yet now they're doing it. All I'm saying is join the party because that's what they're doing. They're slowly opening the door, right? You guys can keep making excuses and saying, well, it's not first party and it's a live service and then they're doing what the industry's doing, and the industry's putting games on streaming services. They're joining the party. Slowly but surely, they're going to do the exact same thing as everybody else.
Well, they're going to have to because they have no games coming out.
Right. Baby steps, the game about putting one foot in front. This is a streamer game, 100%. This is like one day of streaming and then throw your controller and break it because you're going to get frustrated with this type of game. Mystical Journey, and I think that's it. Yeah. So lots of games, but yet no games, right? Lots of games, but no games coming out in their show. A lot of them, Sarge, were positioned, and again, this is just my speculation. Grand Theft Auto was supposed to come out this year, sometime
for sure.
October, November, and they pushed it back to May 26th of next year. I think this was supposed to be rock solid spot, and for the last 3 weeks when they canceled it and said, hey, we're pushing it to May, Sony was scrambling, going, we need to find things. And since that time, Grand Theft Auto moved. Marathon had this shitstorm happen where now we don't know if Marathon's actually going to come out in September. I think it was 22nd or 24th. Okay. And all of these games that they announced are all coming around. Like they're like, here's Marathon, right? They're like 2 days before, 3 days after, 1 week around, right? So they have a whole bunch of games coming out. So it's like one or two drop from now to then, right? We have Death Stranding, then you have one other game, then you have a bunch of games coming out in September, beginning of October, and then there's like nothing, right? Nothing until the next year when 2026 of the games that they showed. Okay, first party, third party, doesn't really matter. Just lots of games that they showed off. There's a big gap. Grand Theft Auto was that big gap hole that was supposed to be there, and everyone was positioning their games to move it and waiting. So much so, even Romeo is a dead man, still won't announce a date because of Grand Theft Auto, which I don't know if this means that they think Grand Theft Auto is potentially still going to move, because they said 2026, but they didn't say when in 2026. So do they think that Grand Theft Auto is not coming out in May? And do they think it's going to get pushed back and they're just waiting to say the date? They want to make sure that it comes out?
I don't understand why the date for Grand Theft Auto now is bothering them. It's a whole year.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is it that's upsetting them? That they have a whole year to plan around it. So I don't understand what they're talking about.
It says here, Romeo is dead man, avoiding firm release date because of Grand Theft Auto 6. Okay,
that makes no sense to me.
It says they're revealed in the world during Sony's State of Play. Romeo is a dead man from Grasshopper Manufacturers as jam-packed with gore and violence. Tentative 2026 release window. The action caught the eye of a graphic approach and appeals to those seeking unfiltered bloody violence. Okay, Romeo Deadman CEO makes GTA 6 threat clear. Okay, he says, as reported on IGN, Grasshopper Manufacturer CEO came clean on specifics behind the reason for the lack of firm release date. And while he didn't mention GTA 6 specifically, it was clear that he was referring to. He said, asked why Romeo and Deadman doesn't have a firm release date, Sutton said it's kind of obvious. He says, we were down to the fact that every publisher wants to make sure to stay clear of that one game's release date. So obviously he's talking about
but the game was supposed to come out this year. They were probably sweating bullets. Then Grand Theft Auto says we're not coming out till next year, May. We're done. The date's out. How is that bothering you?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So it says potentially is going toe-to-toe with GTA 6 was something is way too scary. Okay, it says GTA 6 is slated for May 26th, but I don't get it. Him saying going toe-to-toe, then release it. Release it earlier. But he said 2026, and now they're waiting, right? So they know May 26th.
If you're waiting, right, you're waiting a year? Or are you fixing your game? Is it ready? What do you mean you're waiting?
I don't know. I'm confused by if he's talking about Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto has a date right now.
Yeah,
does he think that they're going to move?
Language matters. He says he's waiting, right? If you're waiting, then you're done, right? If you're not done, then you should still be working on your game. That's fine. Move on with the conversation. But you said you're waiting.
Right.
Waiting for what? The game's coming out a year
close,
from now.
Right. It's either close
Your game's coming out a
year. Yeah.
You could release at Christmas. Release at Christmas. You could release in February when everybody else wants to jam all their games in for the end of the fiscal year. Put it in February. What do you mean you're waiting? Waiting for what?
I mean, I get it, Altern, but the date is right now. Grand Theft Auto is May 26th. So they know, okay, well, we can release before May 26th or we release after May 26th. My thought process is he thinks that May 26th is not the official date. Okay? Meaning
so he's worried about the whole year?
Yes.
He's worried about so they gave a firm date and he thinks it's bullshit. So he's going to panic the whole year. Well, we don't know when it's coming out.
That's the way I'm taking it because otherwise you would say a date, wouldn't you? You know when your game's going to be done.
If you're waiting, your game is done. If you're waiting, your game is done. If you're working on it, then you're still working on your game. But he says he's waiting. Well, if you're waiting, release the game at Christmas. At least get the Christmas sales.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's weird the way it's said. I'm just like I don't.
I listen to the language.
So
everyone talk. They talk long enough to give themselves away. If you're waiting, your game's done.
All right, we're going to take some Q&A. So I'm going to put this on the screen. And if you guys have any questions, put a Q in front of it. We'll put them in there. We're going to talk about one more story before we go, which is about Summer Game Fest. It starts tomorrow, okay? So Summer Game Fest, I'm probably going to stream in the morning a little bit of Dune, okay? Dune Awakening tomorrow morning. And then we're going to be at 5 p.m. I'm going to go live a little bit before 5. We're going to do the whole Summer Game Fest tomorrow. At 5 p.m. Okay, 5 p.m. is the Summer Game Fest, June 6th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to watch that. I'm probably not going to stay on after that because that's 2 hours. And then it's Day of the Devs at 7 p.m. And then it's Bale and Pitt at 8 p.m. And then it's the James Bond Showcase. Those types of things, anything cool that happens from that, we'll just talk about it on Monday. As far as Saturday, June 7th, I'm not covering any of that. I'm at a wedding, so I will not be able to talk about any of the stuff. So wholesome women lead games, Latin America games, Southeast Asia games, Green Games, Frosty Games Fest, none of that. Not covering any of that this year, okay? And then on Sunday, I don't know if I'm going to go live because I drive back, and I'll be back around 3 o'clock, so I'm going to miss Xbox's Showcase Live. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'll maybe go live during the PC Game Show, talk about the PC Game Show if I get back in time and just watch that. And then we'll do the Xbox. We'll talk about the Xbox Game Show or the Xbox Showcase on Monday and cover that, all right? And I won't be covering any of these other ones either, the premiere of Death Stranding or Summer Game Fest, Black Voices in Gaming. I won't be doing that either, all right? So that's the schedule. So we're going to be covering the Game Fest tomorrow, and then we're going to be covering some of the other things either on Sunday or we'll do it and push everything over to Monday morning show. All right, so that's that. Let me see what you guys are talking about or bringing up any questions. If you guys have any questions, no questions yet. So what did you think, Sarge, about the state of play? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Did you think it was whatever, indifferent?
No, I only watched maybe about 40 minutes of it, and I said none of this has got anything to do with PlayStation. They're just talking to talk at this point. I never think that an announcement for games is always going to be good because I realize that it takes X number of years to make a game, and the scheduling for all games and the wave of games that are going to come out when they think they're going to come out don't always come out. So not every game advertisement show is going to be good. And for me, this one just proves the point that PlayStation has to go outside of their first party titles in order to get things done. And they're just going to start the conversation now with the fans yelling at each other about that PlayStation has Xbox games on it. So thank God Xbox made games for you. Otherwise you would have no games. That'll be the battle cry for the whole year.
Right.
right? Then of course when PlayStation finally comes out with their one game that's really awesome, and they're going to talk the shit out of their game, and they'll try to shit on Xbox first party games, because that's how it goes. Like, PlayStation's game will finally come out, and then all the PlayStation fans will shit on the fact that Xbox doesn't have any first party titles, and look at our first party title, it's so amazing, but we had to wait 7 years for it. So I don't know. Once again, I don't understand the battle of the boxes anymore, and I think that the fact that PlayStation finally opened up the door to allowing a game to be on their service is saying that they're trying to put their foot in the water to get games on their service. Give me a reason why I would want a PlayStation service, right?
Right.
That's the whole idea. The other crink in the chain here is the fact that I'm tired of Microsoft not making up their mind. You don't want me to buy hardware. You guys don't want me to buy it, but then you want to come out with a handheld. This is the battle going back and forth.
Real quick for that, I want to make it clear. A lot of people are confused by this. The handheld that they're delaying is the one that they were working on by themselves that was supposed to come out in 2027. The one that they're teaming up with Asus, which is supposed to come out later this year, is still happening. Everyone thinks that, or a lot of people think that the handheld that's supposed to come out this year is delayed. That is not delayed. That's Asus teaming up with Xbox, and that's supposed to come out later this year. The standalone handheld device that Xbox is working on, which I still think is dumb, because I said this last year. I was like, why would they make a handheld when they're not even selling consoles now, all of a sudden pushing towards Xbox and everywhere, and then saying, hey, we have this handheld for you? I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
The only thing I can think about is some corporate psychopath running the numbers in Microsoft says that if we make a handheld, we'll be able to take 15% of Nintendo's market. Like, that's like a conversation they have in a room. They're like, we don't have Nintendo's market. We don't have that mobile market because they can bring their system everywhere we want it. If we just did a handheld and don't spend too much money on it, we could take a percentage of Nintendo's market for the next couple years while we try to restructure what we want to do. Right? There's no reason for them to make a handheld. You can't tell me on your one marketing hand, you say you could play Xbox anywhere. Your phone, your tablet, your refrigerator, anywhere. Then you tell me not to buy an Xbox, that I don't need an Xbox. And then all of a sudden the right-hand marketing guys come out and go, we're selling a handheld, guys. Like, it doesn't add up. It just doesn't.
The only way I see them making a handheld, definitely, is if they know that everybody else is making a handheld. One, we already know the Switch. 2 is a handheld. If PlayStation is working on a portable, not the Portal, but an actual PlayStation handheld, then I can see Xbox going, well, they're both handhelds. So, and then we're just back at square one again, right? Which is three consoles,
but we're not.
But they're all mobile now instead of actual on the table.
Yeah, but we're not, because unless those handhelds are running games streaming from whatever engines they have, what's the hardware going to be like on a handheld? Everyone wants powerful machines and experiences. What the fuck is the handheld going to do for me?
I think what they're doing, though, because Steam Deck's pretty good, I think what they'll do is they'll sacrifice the power for convenience and portability, and then they'll bring it back up, right? They can't. They hit a ceiling with graphics. They've hit the ceiling. So now they have to scale that back and go, well, what can we do next? Well, we can make frames per second on a mobile device. And then they're like, well, it's an hour worth of battery life. Then it's 2 hours of battery life. And then it's, if you plug it into the thing, like, they're trying to make it more convenient and you can take it with you everywhere you go, right? That's the only thing I can think of if they know something that we don't know.
That would be like saying, like, the 40% of people that I know for the last 10 years who love gaming are going to just step backwards in time. Like, I want an Xbox handheld system, even though it's going to be less performance than everything I've been bitching about for the last 8 years. It makes no sense. It doesn't make sense to want to go backwards for convenience of handheld.
Right.
This is handheld. My tablet is handheld. Like, walking around with the goddamn stick and plugging it into any fucking TV and logging on is a fucking handheld. Like, I don't understand what we're talking about when they want to do a handheld.
El Nini, you're correct. Handhelds are a niche now, but people that are younger than me and younger than you are growing up on handhelds. They're playing mobile phones and laptops, or not laptops, but tablets and smaller devices. So to them, that will be the norm. For you, as a gamer that's seen it now growing up, you're gonna be like, I don't want to do that. It's niche for us, not niche for the people that they're making games
Right.
for.
The same reason why when we were younger we played on small TVs.
Yeah.
And the entire market of televisions got bigger and bigger because we grew up with those televisions. So they're selling TVs to us because we always wanted bigger TVs. Then now they're selling TVs and monitors that are smaller, and all the kids seem to like it. But we've already lived through that shit. I'm not going back to a small
I'm not going
monitor.
backwards. Yeah.
You go fuck yourself.
I'm getting old. I need bigger TVs. I need
Yeah, the whole
120-inch television.
The
set.
whole reason why you have these TVs that are this big is because of Generation X, right? We grew up on little teeny televisions,
small black and white,
right? Black and white, little
thing.
televisions, like, and every 5 years the TVs got bigger and we got more excited. Like, yeah, got a bigger TV, got a bigger TV. Your friends would brag. I got a 30, I got a 40, I got a 50. It just kept going. Like you go over to the guy's house to watch movies because they got the bigger TV, right? That's the whole point. It's Sunday football. Whose house we going to? Todd got a 70. Woo! We're going to Todd's house. Like, now you're trying to sell me small monitors. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your small monitor. Look how convenient it is.
Do you remember the
bring
monitor
it in my car? No.
You remember our monitor on the Apple IIc?
24.
No, it wasn't 24.
No, 18. 18. Yeah.
It was tiny as fuck.
No,
Are
the
you kidding
Apple
me?
IIc, 18. 18.
The app
18.
I'm gonna look it up.
18-inch.
Apple 2C
monitor size. That'd be 18.
Apple monitor, Apple 2C was 9 inches. 9 inches. It was the size
you're out
of
of
my
your mind,
iPad.
bro.
No, I'm telling you, that's the one that we had. We had this one right here, right? It says the color monitor, which founded in 1985, was 14 inches, and the color composite monitor was 12 inches, right? So we didn't have the 14-inch.
Ours was color. Ours was color. Wasn't black
Yeah,
and white.
we had we had the Apple II, which is a 12-inch monitor. Yeah, it was tiny, man. It was like,
yeah, no fucking 9 inches.
This is it right here. Let me bring it up. This is the monitor.
That wasn't our monitor.
Yeah, it was, and you sit it right underneath the thing.
Nope, we did not have that monitor. It was a standalone monitor.
That is a standalone monitor.
The box, no little stand. It was a monitor. Fucking
That's
giant
just the
monitor.
stand putting the thing on top so you can put your keyboard underneath. That's all that is. That's the screen that goes on top of your keyboard that you had. The keyboard's back end of the keyboard was like a football field.
The keyboard was the computer, though.
Yeah, it was a football field long with the keys, and you put the monitor on top of the fucking computer.
Yeah, that wasn't our monitor. Our monitor was thicker. It was a beast, not the screen, but like a monster thing.
I bet you still have it somewhere at their house. I bet you it's still there.
I don't think so.
All right, let's go to questions real fast. Aku says James Bond with $5 super chat says James Bond. I doubt they beat the amazing intro music of GoldenEye. The game is made by IO Interactive, so Hitman goodness. Yeah, I don't think we're comparing it to GoldenEye, right? You know what I mean? Like this is a standalone movie game, basically. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for it. I think it's good. I don't know if I like the character model of James Bond, but it is what it is. Thank you much for the $5 super chat. First question is, Krebsy says, how long should games be in pre-production before you pull the cord? This goes off the news of Black Panther game getting canceled after 4 years. That's hard to say. And I'll say this. I'll answer the question from a movie standpoint. How much of the movie do you shoot before you realize that's a shitty movie? Right? Sometimes you have to film the movie to see that's a shitty movie in the edit. Right? So I would say in video games, 2 years, 3 years, all depending on how long they are, and then go, yeah, you know what? This is just not working out. Maybe on paper it worked out, and then as you're making it happen, you're like, yeah, this is not feasible. So I would say around what they're doing, 3 to 4 years. I mean, look at Anthem. Anthem was made for 7 years. Look at Fortnite, Save the World, 8 years. So sometimes I think it does need long. It would have to be a case by case scenario, in my opinion. You have an answer for that one, Sarge? You want?
If the group of devs is sitting around discussing how they want to make a game, it's a process, right? You're talking about it's like a movie, right? If after the first 18 months you guys don't have a grasp on it, that's when you stop, right? But once you're committed and you're making it,
You're talking about 18 months of in development, not like pre-production. You're talking about in development, 18 months.
No, there's a process where ideas. The first 18 months is all what we're gonna do, right? It's never basics. It's not just we're working. We're in the game. You have to have pre-production in order to see if the formulation of ideas is gonna work.
Sure,
right?
but
you need to have
once
that.
it's in development, though, you need some time to make the actual thing.
Yes. But
like, look at tech demo for Witcher
18,
4. Do they look at this and go, "Yeah, we're not making it"?
But after 18 months of the pre stuff, if you guys don't get a grasp on it, if you guys aren't all on the same page, don't bother start working on it for 2 years.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Brandon says, "What would it take for you and Sarge to come back to Destiny, big picture wise? I personally lapsed since the final shape. This is a very simple answer. Never coming back to Destiny. I fundamentally do not like the company. I just don't like them. Didn't like them since 2016. They could come out and make the greatest game in the world, and I would look at them and go, nope, I'm good. I'm never going back to Destiny. Never going back.
Unfortunately.
Next question. Krebs says, do you find it funny that Black Ops 6 started with the articles saying return to form, and now articles are saying COD has never been worse and cheaters are rampant? I do find it funny. I also find it funny that, Battlefield, I didn't talk about it, but Battlefield is also going back to the roots, the ground, and yet they're doing nothing of the class-based system. They're changing everything, right? They're keeping what was in Battlefield 2042. So both of these franchises have completely lost what these franchises came from. They've lost their identity, both of them.
Return to form and boots on the ground is these phrases they say over and over and over again, bro. Right? Sell me a COD game that doesn't have skins and or a zombie mode, and tell me if you can make it yet. You can make a game.
Right.
If you guys can't make a game that doesn't have those two things, then you have no idea what you're making anymore. I sent you the picture of the monitor, by the way, on your phone.
Oh, did you? All right, let me see.
That was the monitor.
Let's see.
That was the monitor.
That is the monitor. You're right. That is the monitor. Was that the second, though? Was that the second computer?
That's the only one we had. That's the only one we had. That was the computer we had, yeah.
We had the Apple IIc. I thought we had another one after that. I think the Apple IIc was the small one, and then we got that one.
No, that's the monitor.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think we got. I think the first computer we got after that was a custom built one. After that,
do you remember where we bought the Apple IIc? What
Sears
store? Yeah,
was it Sears?
It was Sears. Yeah,
it was Sears.
Remember when department stores sold computers?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
All right, question from Krezi says, would you say that State of Play had heavy Japanese themes? Would you think that the coincidence that the State of Play was held the day before Switch 2? I mean, PlayStation 5 is currently cheaper than Switch 2. Is the PlayStation 5 cheaper than Switch 2? Oh, I guess it is. It's $500. Bundle with the bundle. It's the same price, isn't it? I'm confused. But anyway, yeah, it was very heavily
What
Japanese
Krebsy's saying is, you don't buy a fucking Switch 2. You just get a goddamn PlayStation.
Yeah, no, I get what he's saying.
It
was very, very heavily Japanese themed. I would agree with that. But is it cheaper? I guess it is.
It's bizarro world, bro. It's bizarro world.
Next one is, how do you think the public will react to the new Black Panther comic, Marvel Knights, making Black Panther a white guy?
I think
it's fucking hilarious.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they say.
I think it's hilarious.
We're gonna go the other way for this one. I want to see if the hatred remains the same.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. First off,
yes, it is.
Yeah, but I think it's stupid.
But I think someone's trying to prove a point, and I like it. I like it.
Someone's like, let's see if they hate this shit. Yeah. We will. Don't worry about it.
Yep. The next Jackie Chan movie that comes out is done by a Norwegian guy. Like that kind of stuff.
Right. Because he says, does Superman make money with the budget of $225 million?
You will know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
You will know when it goes out to the early guys, like the fans and the reviewers. You'll know right away. All they have to do.
It's got to make what, $500 million?
All they have to do is make a movie where Superman doesn't act like a pussy. He tries to help Earth. He stands for truth, justice, and the American way. He makes you feel patriotic. It's supposed to be a positive movie. What I saw in that trailer was him whining to Lois Lane about him having to defend himself, about trying to save people. An argument about trying. I don't want to hear this kind of fucking shit, right?
Yeah.
That was in the trailer. What are you going to show me that gives me context that Superman's got to defend himself on why he's doing what he does?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I think we find out real fast. If it
Real
does,
fast.
we find out on Friday. If people talk about it and they're like, this is great. Yes, it will make its money. Okay. I think it will end up, if it's good, it will end up making like 800 million. If it's bad, it's making 425 million, like Captain America: Brave New World. Like, that's the difference.
So how do you?
I don't think this movie breaks $1 billion.
How
I
do
don't
you
think this movie breaks $1 billion.
Bro, especially in the world we're living in right now. Right now, if they took present day narrative, all Superman would have to do is, I'm not listening to any of this stuff. I'm here to save you people. Right? We're done. We're done with the divisiveness. We're done with the racism. I'm here to save the planet, right? From whoever it is. We ignore all the bullshit and we try to get people to want to be behind each other. Okay? That's all that has to happen. If they can't do that in a Superman movie, it's fucking over.
Is this real, Mo? Is this fucking real? Is this official? Please tell me that's official. We'll bring that up in a second. Next one. Do you really believe that Sony have a surprise to show in Summer Game Fest? I think they do. I think the state of play was what they could show, and I think Keighley, because Keighley loves getting world premieres, I think he has something up his sleeve to show. Maybe that's why they didn't. And again, this is just me, not even like.
So you would show a shitty show before the good show just because you feel like it?
Yeah, there's more eyeballs on Game Fest. Way more eyeballs on Game Fest. So Summer Game Fest is pulling in 10 times the amount of people that would watch the state of play. So I think showing Wolverine, let's say they show Wolverine at the Summer Game Fest, it would get way more eyeballs on that show, and then afterwards on everyone else talking about it than if it was state of play then talking about it. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess.
So I don't know. Maybe they show Wolverine, but who knows? Next one. Do you think it's possible that Sony gave Keighley things to show since Summer Game Fest will be shown in China? Well, there you go. Right? Maybe. Yes. I do believe they're going to show some stuff, and because Keighley likes world premiere. So I already answered that in Altern's question. You want to answer that? Or you good with that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And Dolphin says, do you think Sony is seeing all the Xbox games selling well on PlayStation and now rethinking putting out games faster on PC? I think they were doing that ahead of time already. That's why they shortened the gap from never to 24 months to 18 months to 15, 14 months now, I think it is. So I think they already saw that, Dolphin. I think that date gets even smaller and smaller as they go.
Well, they have to. They initially wait for it. Won't get shorter and shorter. They wait for their. I forget what the exact thing was. I learned it back in business. This is a long time ago. There's a plateau of sales, right, where your average sales for the quarter, right, and then there's a drop off, and then you never go back above that average, right? And so what they want to do is they want to carry off the maximum price for as long as they can for the system that it's on now.
Sure.
Before you release something on a new product for the same higher price, right? Like for instance, you would pay $60 or $70 for a game on a console, and then the game would go down to like $30 or $40. That'll be on sale. But then at that point, the PC game comes out and it comes out at $60 or $70, right? Because you want it on PC, not the because then you're saying, what do you want it on? You want to get the discounted price on console, or do you want the better version it's on PC?
All right. So this is from Jeff Keighley. Okay. Jeff Keighley posted this. And I just want to say, I called it. I called it. Now, I don't know if it has anything to do with what I said originally, but let's bring this up. I find it a little strange that Black Myth Wukong is coming to Xbox Series X and S on August 20th, which is 1 year after it launched a release date on Sony PlayStation and PC. Okay? Now, the developers themselves had said that it would take years to optimize for the Xbox, and they were not paid in marketing deals, which is probably true. But for some strange reason, it's officially releasing on August 20th, 1 year after the game released. Exhibit A through Z right here, which gives me a whole lot more ammunition when I said that, what was his name? Phil Rosenberg said that they helped them develop the game. They helped them push the game to what it needed to be. I'm not in denial. I'm just sick of hearing about Wukong. I'm just saying. Correct as usual. I bet about like an 80. I'm not always right. But man, that does look suspicious. Does look suspicious.
Just a little.
All right. But we'll see. All right. That's going to do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. If you guys like what we do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. You can also listen to us or watch us over on the past broadcast right here on 30NSG. And you can also go to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and you can help us. Make sure you guys hit a review button over there, a star button, whatever, if you're listening to the podcast over on the podcast side. And if you're over here on the YouTube side after the leave a comment. I love responding to comments and whatnot. Share this podcast. Get it out to other people. We do appreciate you very much. I don't know if I'm going to stream. I think I'm just going to play some Dune on my own tonight because it's crashing and it gets frustrating. But I will stream tomorrow morning. I don't know what time I'll go live yet, but we're going to stream in the morning for Dune Awakening, and then we'll go over to Keeley Fest later in the afternoon to watch Summer Game Fest. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your evening, night, or day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and chaos.